Excuse me. I need to do a show, Taro. It's time to go live. My true twin flame. Excuse me. Now I'm hearing my twin flame, which is me, yelling at Taro, my other twin flame. I'm in a throuple of flames. My life is in flames also, okay?
I am getting emotional right now.
I am getting emotional right now. You know why? Because does love exist? Have we come to a conclusion on that? Because as of late, I feel like it doesn't. It does. I know it does. But it also feels like, for me personally, it doesn't. And that's sad, right? So I guess it's perfect timing to find a twin flame.
There's nothing more whole than a broken heart.
Which is true. Thanks, Mark. But alas, in my time of need, I was gonna go on the internet and try to get some help. And Twin Flames Universe was not there to help me. I was shocked. I'm shocked and awed because they're always on the internet, and yet, I mean, they're still there, to be fair, but they're being investigated by the Michigan Attorney General. What? Update alert. So I thought it was time we go and revisit Twin Flame Universe and the updates in which there are. Why am I in a closet filled with luxury items? Well, we're going to get to that after we talk about this exciting investigation in which warrants were served. So we're going to watch a news clip to get us started here, to get us caught up on all the drama, and then we're going to learn how to make $1 million and find our true love thanks to Jesus. Thanks to Jeff, who is also Jesus, according to him. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing today. All right?
Back to the swallowing.
Okay, back to the swallowing, everybody. Are you ready?
My boyfriend
is Jeff. If you're not familiar with Twin Flames Universe, you're going to get caught up right now. But basically, it's this couple, Jeff and Cecilia. They started off as entrepreneurs, coaches to teach you how to spiritually find your twin flame, which is a kind of a new age spiritual concept that there's a soulmate for you and you find each other in multiple lifetimes. It's like a really aggressive version of a soulmate. And they were teaching courses and you could pay money to learn. And then eventually, as all things do, it turned more nefarious and they started to get more power. Then they started partnering their constituents up with each other, encouraging people to change their gender. It's been a whole thing. So then there was a bunch of documentaries. There was one on Netflix and there was one on Hulu, I believe, that kind of exposed them. And there was a Vanity Fair article, yada, yada, yada. People started to catch on. They still have a business. Now they also have a religion because I guess they're trying to get, tax cuts or something. And then the last time we were with them and on this channel, we watched them give a really weird interview to a Canadian broadcaster. And Jeff walked out weirdly. They were trying to act normal. It did not come off well.
One of the things that fascinates me about you is that you're from Canada.
And this is that woman's voice, the journalist.
I'm sorry you're upset.
Anyways, so that was where we left them. And now the authorities are getting involved. So let's check it out. So this is News Nation, my favorite news program. And they're gonna tell us all about what's going on. They're gonna break the story for us.
Need help finding your ultimate lover, an eternal spiritual complement, your perfect person? Who doesn't, right? Well, that is where an outfit called Twin Flames Universe comes in. You see, for a fee, the universe will send you books and videos and other materials supposedly designed to lead you directly to your ultimate lover / perfect person, your twin flame. And if your next question is, okay, how much is this? Well, the answer is you can buy a Twin Flames Kindle book for $10, or you can spend almost $9,000 for a so-called everything package.
The everything package is $8,888, in case you're wondering. That's what they call almost $9,000, just so you know.
And who exactly is collecting those fees? Well, the group was founded in 2017 by a married couple named Jeff and Cecilia Devine, who claimed to have a direct connection to God and use it to help their 40,000 members couple up. Former members, some of them say anyway, it is a scam. That's what they say. That's the allegation, and that the universe is a cult or cult-like. They say the leaders control every aspect of members' lives, from choosing their partners to cutting them off from friends and family, even forcing them to change their sexualities and gender identities, all to align with their perfect flame. Now, the allegations are laid out in a Netflix series called Escaping Twin Flames. Take a look.
You too can have harmonious union.
I found people that I can relate to and I can trust.
We had 38,000 people in the group.
This is the story of falling in love.
They were saying things like, are you ready for the ultimate love of your life?
What Jeff and Cecilia do has nothing to do with love. It's control.
You're getting some prime ass tea. None of it
Who is he, me? It's my line, Jeff.
matters because you're his twin flame and this is your union.
Jeff taught us to pursue our twin flames at all costs.
When I spoke up about how I was feeling, I got shunned by Jeff and Cecilia.
Liar! Boop, boop. Andrew's lying. Andrew's lying.
Liar. You're either feminine at your core or masculine at your core.
I questioned Jeff, and his reply was, how dare you question your God?
Now, if this looks familiar,
Very normal behavior. Nothing to see here, okay? The government is, there's nothing to investigate. That's what I've been hearing lately from the government. It's weird. It's kind of odd.
it's because we brought you this story before just about a year ago, and we're back on it now. Why? Because state and federal authorities are now investigating. The Attorney General of Michigan just confirmed that her office raided 2 properties that were linked to twin flames, including an upstate
Twin properties, some may call them. Twin estates?
mansion that served as the operations headquarters.
Today, my office, along with local law enforcement, the Michigan State Police, and the U.S. Department of Labor Office of Inspector General, executed search warrants on 2 residences as part of our investigation into Twin Flames Universe. Twin Flames is a largely online organization with leaders based in Leelanau County, Michigan, that allegedly uses coercive control over its members, both in Michigan and across the United States. We believe that many of their actions may have been illegal.
Now, to be clear, as of tonight, no one in the group has been charged with anything. The universe insists it's a community founded on love and mutual respect, not a cult. But I want to talk about this. So I want to bring in right now 2 women who know this story far better than I do. We have with us Cecilia Peck, the director and executive producer of the Escaping Twin Flames Netflix doc, and Keely Griffin is a former member who last month celebrated 4 years since she left, or her escape. Cecilia, Keely, welcome.
That's funny when you start celebrating your cult escape. It's like a second birthday. It's like, happy 4 years. Oh, thank you. Like, what do you bring to that party? Like, I don't know, a book or something? Like, hey, here's some new information. Try again. I don't know.
Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for taking the time. Keely, I'll start with you. As someone who made it out of...
Kelly Loomis, that's good. Twinvestigation? I'm stealing that. Thank you.
This organization, you see the headline, you hear the AG. What are you thinking about this?
Yay.
Just shock and relief. I feel so validated for law enforcement to be taking this seriously. And I think that it's a really big step in the right direction to getting justice for everyone who's been harmed by them.
Cecilia, did you have any idea this was happening? Were you contacted by law enforcement, given a heads up, anything like this? Or were you just shocked like all?
I'm the anchor now. Were you shocked? Were you shocked by this update?
All of us were.
Well, we heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Michigan right after our series aired, and we had put them in contact with all of the former members of the group who appeared in their series, and that led to almost 2 years of talking with them and collecting evidence in the form of thousands of documents and videos. And that led to the search warrants and this formal investigation. So it just indicates that they took the experiences of the former members very seriously. And why it happened now, I'm not sure. I mean, the presence of the Department of Labor makes me think that there might be a focus on forced labor and that maybe there's new.
Well, if you remember from last stream when we talked about what they were up to, they had people that were like living with them on the compound, and their compound is kind of small, to be honest. It's like it's a large home, but it's nothing like that fancy in my opinion. Like they act like they're quadrillionaires and that they are richer than anyone, and their place is pretty average. I mean, better than I have, let's be honest, but like fairly average in the grand scheme of things. And they had people staying with them at one point, and they had to like cook and do, the chores. And there was a whole part of the documentary where they talked, and in the interview that we watched, where people were like not being paid for that, but they were basically doing it to be around them and to learn, the ways of a twin flame and to improve their life. It was like a boot camp, I think they called it. So I think that's what they're saying. It's like they had to take care of the dog. They had to like feed the dog, in this very specific way. And it was like, that's a job, and they weren't being paid for it. So that could be an illegal activity.
Evidence to suggest that.
Yeah, I could speculate all day on potential charges of what they're looking at, but I'll save that for another day. Keely, I have to ask you a little bit more about the human dynamic about this. I mean, you live this. What do you want people, especially, let's say, potentially prosecutors, to understand about how deep this control really goes?
Yeah, so Jeff and Cecilia, like all cult leaders, control every aspect of their members' lives, including what they wear, what they think, their belief systems, and their most personal identities. So it's impossible for these members to even make a simple decision without being approved by Jeff and Cecilia. And as far as actually having consent, I think that's also impossible because
I think it's going to be hard to bring charges, honestly. I feel like these cases sometimes get attention, and it's like almost a publicity stunt for the local government or the state government to say if they're going to run for election anytime soon, they know this type of stuff will get press and will get on the national news and, these types of things. I don't know how often they actually result in in NXIVM's case, it did, but they were doing something a little, I think, more extreme as far as I understand. So unless there's some really new charges or new allegations, I doubt they're going to actually face any jail time, but who knows?
Cecilia have shown that if you disagree with anything that they tell you to do, there's serious repercussions and abuse that you will face because of that.
Cecilia, I want to ask you something. So the group has pushed back on the docuseries. They've called it inaccurate. They've called it misleading. If we could put it up here. So we reached out to Twin Flames Universe for comment.
Am I a bad teacher? Find out after this segment.
We haven't heard back, but they put out a statement in March. I'll put it up if we have it. We take seriously recent allegations implying we wield inappropriate control over our community members. After a careful review of both media coverage and recent productions, we are saddened that so much effort has gone into taking swipes at an organization and community founded on love and mutual respect. What's your response to that?
Well, of course they would push back.
ChatGPT written, sounds like to me. They said, respond to this allegation. And they said, of course, here's your answer. And then they copy and pasted, which, hey, who doesn't? You know what I mean? Who doesn't do that these days? Anyways, I'm having a rough week. Thank you all for being here. Seriously, I've been having a rough ass week. Everything is a lie. Okay, sorry. I'll keep that to myself. Let's focus on the twin flames. All right. Savannah Dennis. Thank you so much. Savannah says, Kia, I've been a silent viewer since your first video on Rachel. Love our parasocial relationship. Oh my gosh. Longtime viewer, first time caller. Welcome. But also, well, if you're a Rachel stan, I have just the sounds for you. Actually, I have to find some. Hold on. I have my Rachel sound bites all mixed up, but this one goes out to you, Savannah.
My pubic hair.
And also?
I am dating the most evolved human being.
That's what Cecilia thinks. Finally? And finally?
You have a wig in your panties.
There you go, Savannah. That's for you. Thanks for being here. Okay, back to it. Huck to it.
It's not in their financial interest to admit to these allegations, but the survivors who we profiled stand, behind the docuseries, and now the Michigan District Attorney, has followed that whole trail of evidence that we laid out in the series. So it's a real validation of what we uncovered. And these documentaries can put pressure on law enforcement. As we saw during our last docuseries about the cult NXIVM, the cult leader was sentenced to 120 years in prison during the airing of our series.
That's Keith Raniere.
Keely, I've heard about these kinds of organizations before, alleged organizations giving money, being
an alleged organization. I don't think you have to allege it's an organization. I think it's safe to say that that's common knowledge that these are organizations. It's allegedly a place where people meet together. It's like, okay, trying to be real strict here. Babak, welcome and thank you. Babak says picks a Shiba dog happily massaging his cheeks with his mouth wide open. I bet you are, Shiba dog. I bet you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what that Shiba dog is saying.
And they call that a bisexual tone.
And also this.
I had a thriving wild stallion of Eros.
A wild Shiba of Eros. Okay, thank you, Babak. All right, we're almost done with this part, and then we'll get to the funny stuff. The funny business.
Manipulated. The gender reassignment allegation is one that feels very, very different, and I'm not sure people completely understand that. Can you explain how that worked exactly?
Yeah, Jeff and Cecilia are putting extreme amounts of pressure on their members to completely change their gender and their sexuality against their will. And unfortunately, there have been members that have undergone serious surgeries because of their so-called guidance.
And I guess the question is, if people look at this and say, what would lead someone to want to be a part of this? The pandemic happened, right? So I know they set up those boot camps and things like that.
A pandemic happened? Hold the phone.
It could be amalgamation of different factors. But from your experience, what led people to them and maybe are defending them to this day?
There's all sorts of reasons. Jeff and Cecilia have an organization that's perfect for exploiting people's weaknesses or vulnerabilities because it's all centered around sharing your most deep.
We have context for this, obviously, because the documentary talks about how Jeff believes he's Jesus and thinks he looks like Jesus and believes that he's the Christ reincarnated. But if you're just saying this on the news with no context, you'd be like, oh, is this guy Jesus or something? What's going on? It's just playing on a loop in the background with the B-roll with no context. It is kind of funny.
The secrets and your traumas, and they claim that they can heal those things, but instead now they know your weakness and they can use that against you to manipulate you to do things that you don't want to do.
Cecilia, as we're looking at this and trying to make sense of what they might be looking for in these homes and what this investigation might lead into, do you think there's a lot of people who've come forward and are cooperating with investigators right now, particularly after your documentary?
Probably.
Well, I know that all of the former members who appeared in our series are cooperating. I hope others are. I think it's the right time to. I mean, over the years, they've probably seen and heard or been asked to do a lot of things that really didn't feel right. And I think those instincts were correct, and they got entangled in the system that really stripped away their autonomy and separated them from their families. And I think their loved ones are waiting for them, and it's time to come forward. It takes a lot of courage to do so, but they can reclaim their lives and their well-being.
And Keely, real quick, 30 seconds, if you could say something to the couple at the head of this, Shirley and Jeff, what would you say to them?
Love you, babes. Miss you. Can't wait to see you for Christmas. Oh, wait. Just kidding.
Oh, gosh. I would say...
Why do they make them do this on the news? What's your message to your former trauma person that caused you trauma? 30 seconds on the clock. Please give them a message for that you would like to say to them. Such a weird question to ask. I guess it's like clickbaity, but it's just odd to put someone on the spot like that who's been victimized by this group, obviously.
That I hope that you understand the depth of harm and destruction that you've caused so many people, not just the members, but the people that the members are related to and everyone that's been affected by this. And that I hope that you take accountability and responsibility for what you've done.
Well, it's a big
They absolutely will not do that.
development. We're going to keep our eyes on what happens next. Keely Griffin, Cecilia Peck, thank you so much. I really appreciate you both.
This guy's got a nice gray outfit. I'm feeling the gray on gray. The gray tie, the white shirt. It's crisp. It's cool. It's summer chic. I'm feeling it.
Taking the time.
Thank you for...
Jump scare. And while we're discussing fashion, I thought it was about time to learn about fashion from the one and only Jeff. Because other than the investigation ongoing, they're collecting data, they're getting files, no one's been charged as of yet. Again, I would be shocked if they might get charged. If they actually are convicted, I will be really shocked. I will be surprised if they're even charged with anything, to be honest. But who knows? They might have some intel and information that I'm unaware of. But in the meantime, there's nothing really else going on with that. But we have lessons to learn. And they've done a reaction video to the Netflix documentary, which is an hour and a half, which seems like a lot. But I don't have time for that. Money talks, am I right? And so I want to learn from Jeff, specifically in his closet, how to get up my bank, especially with a twin flame twist. So you down? And then they also have one called This Man is Dangerous with Flames and Fire, and he put himself in there. So we can also watch that one. It's not too long. So let's start there, and we'll see what lessons we glean. Because I need to get some money. I need to get on that grind, and this is the perfect motivation and time to do so. So this is called Money Talks, an introduction. So we're just learning here. We're all in the beginning stages of our bank, getting in our bank, in our dough, in our bread era. An introduction to the money game, Money Talks, Twin Flames, Jeff and Cecilia. It's got 1,200 views from 1 month ago. Okay, he's got, or I guess it's mostly Cecilia, I'm assuming. No, that's not Coach. Chanel and Louis Vuitton. And I don't know what that is at the top. Let me know if you know brands.
Hey.
And then we're going to learn together, okay? Let's see.
What's up, everyone? It's Jeff Devine here, and today we're going to do a video where I unbox some new watches and we talk together about money. I am not sure if this is going to be the kind of video that you're into. It's going to...
Oh, I'm so into it. I'm so into it. Unboxing watches in your closet? Yes. More, please. Every day do this, please.
Yes.
Be super casual, super chill. We're just going to hang out. I'm going to unbox some watches. We're going to talk about money. If that sounds good to you.
Who buys multiple watches, so many at one time that you have to unbox them? Anybody?
Hang out, let's do it. We're here in my closet, and
yeah, his closet, I'm
we're
sure.
going to we're just gonna talk about money, huh? Cool. So I got 10 new watches. They are not luxury watches per se. They're $250 to $500 a pop, and they fill a place in my closet. Kind of,
and not the void in his personality, unfortunately.
It's a weird video. This is a really strange way to do video. I really wanted to do something that's super casual and just hanging out with me. And
yeah, it's off to a great start. This is very good.
I thought that this would be a great opportunity to talk about my money philosophy and how you can make money too. Because
You can make money too. You could go to the Bronx and make money too. Got a little accent coming out there. All right, everyone get your pen and paper out. It's time for notes. We're going to learn how to get 10 watches between $250 and $500 range at once. This is what everyone wants.
the reality of money is that it's just
energy.
Value.
Oh.
When you create value and you give it to others, then you're going to make money. It's really simple.
So simple.
And that's what we do. So I thought that'd be fun. Let's like open the first watch. I got 10 watches. I'm excited to check them out. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, normally we do just like super intensely informational videos. And I've been trained on that for like, 11 years plus. So this is the first time I'm doing something that's
casual,
at least hybridized. So Paul Rich is one, and then we got 5 Paul Rich, and we got 5 Ralph Christensen.
We got 5 of the same brand of watch. Paul Rich and Daryl Poor watches. Okay, this is very intriguing.
And these guys are known for like
watches.
Fashion watches. They look really cool. They're designed similarly to the like $250,000, $300,000, $500,000 watches, but obviously they're much less expensive. It's just for me, they're kind of placeholders in my wardrobe so that I can put together outfits based on what I'm wanting for the day.
What is he going on about?
And they're also kind of visual placeholders for me for when I'm able to afford $10,000, $300,000 watches, because watches can get really crazy and expensive. I think they're beautiful and fun. And
so it's a watch, vision watch, like a vision board, but it's a vision watch. So he's getting a $300 watch 10 times so that he can imagine having it be a $300,000 watch. That makes so much sense. Yes. Good idea, Jeff.
that is the money game. And some people will say, oh, you need a $300,000 watch. Why do you need something that's valuable in your life? You don't need it to survive. We kind of, for the most part, have the survival game locked down, at least in the West. You're probably not going to die, to starvation.
Probably
in
not.
most parts of Western
But maybe.
America, Western society, civilization. So after survival,
How did he get 40,000 people to give him money? How did the charisma? They always say the charisma is what drew them into the cult. And then you watch a video, you're like this, you're like, what charisma? What, amazing magnetic personality did these people see? Because I'm not feeling it with this.
it becomes a game for fun. And the fun game is how much value can you create for others? And that's my philosophy. And it's not about, because you can get wealth by taking it from others. You have an illusion of wealth. You don't have real wealth that way. The wealth that I have is created by creating value for others. It's literally created.
Mm-hmm.
Well, more of a chill video, less intense information. We'll just drop little ones along the way. So, Paul Rich, let's see which one this is. I don't know. I've never tried any of these on. I don't know if I'm going to like them. I just tore the box a little bit. I might send them back. So, hopefully made in China.
Made in China. Oh no, that's not the West of America. Those people who made this watch, they don't have the money game on lock. You need to teach them your ways, Jeff.
Great. Hopefully they work out or send them back. So it's got this cute
stuffy
lid.
So cute.
Comes off.
You guys, it's so cute. The lid, so cute. It comes off. Oh my god. Wow. He's selling
Sorry,
it.
I've never done an unboxing video before, so this is
We
the
can
first.
tell.
Little sleeve. Okay. Frankly, I don't really care. I'm not here for the unboxing experience. I just want to see the watch and see if it works out. Let's see which one this is.
Oh, I have nothing to say.
Oh, this one I was super excited about. Oh my gosh. Check this out. Super sparkly. It's got that spark.
That's fine, I guess. Looks like Galaxy. I guess that's what he's going for. Paul Rich, watch number 1. Okay. 10 out of 10.
I keep like downplaying them that they're like cheap, but I think they're really pretty. This is a really pretty watch. That sparkle, I love that. It's got
oh my God,
like a soft band. So right now I've got on a $20.
This is Jesus reincarnated. This is what Jesus chose to do on his second go around.
Temu watch.
Temu
it's like
watch.
all plastic inside. I thought it was cute. Give it a
Temu watch with a Mercedes-Benz logo in there.
try, but I wanted to upgrade it, and that's the money game, guys.
That's the money game.
You,
Upgrade your Temu.
Start with where you're at, and you improve. Man, you didn't even know I'm a multimillionaire and wearing a $20 watch. Okay, so let's throw it on the wrist.
Get some allergy medicine. How about?
If I like it, I can take all the
expensive.
plastic off. I think this is gonna fit. I really like this so far at first glance. This could be a huge shopping win. When you're shopping online, it's like, you know, can be hit or miss.
Totally.
And I felt super emboldened because I got like 9 pair of shorts for the summer and they all worked out. Like every single one was super cool.
Stop.
Worked out for my wardrobe nice.
Ah.
I'm gonna keep every single one. Shalia loves them. So
Jeff.
I felt emboldened at my online shopping skills. You think it looks cute?
So cute.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
great.
gosh.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it for you.
Let's go with
Teach me about love.
Let's do more watch unboxing. It's a huge one. It comes with a cute little pillow. Look at that.
Oh my
Squish,
god,
squish.
so cute.
Good job, Paul Rich.
Too bad you have
Nice.
5
Wow, I'm really
others that
happy
are the
with that.
same brand. I don't know
Yeah,
if I don't know if I can watch this whole thing. We're gonna have to see.
I gotta say, it's really strange for me. I'm having like emotionalness come out of my head to just do a super casual video. We'll see how it goes.
He's having emotions come out of his head because he's doing such a casual video. He's getting mucus of emotions for doing such a casual video because he wants to be so intensely didactic. Is that the right word? Is that the right word? Tell me. You don't know. You don't speak English. She speaks exclusively Kitank. See?
Like ASMR maybe. Because like normally in my daily life, I'm not super talkative. I'm actually just meditating and like feeling my feelings. Except with Shalia, I'm like really, really talkative. She gotta shut me up sometimes.
Cool, dude.
Okay,
You should be
let's try
quiet
number
more.
2. So the Paul Rich ones, they're pretty varied in terms of style and all that.
It's gonna look exactly the same. Watch it be like exactly the same watch in like a slightly different color.
And I think the Ralph Christensen one, I got 5 of the same watch in different colors. So we'll just open like 1 or 2 of the Ralph Christian, and then I'll drop some more.
The same watch? Okay, whatever.
I also really did want to drop some wisdom about wealth and money. People have been really curious about our wealth for a long time, and frankly, I'm really stoked to share about it because I love the money game and I play it in a unique way, and I'm pretty good at it. And this is also what we teach students is that wealth is just value creation. And like I said, I'll go into more detail about what that means and how you can do that in your life to increase the money in your life. Because, we all love money. Like you can get up here and like, throw shade my way in my really expensive, custom closet. But like some family...
It's filled with women's clothing and purses. Like you don't have your own closet? Or is this your closet? Secrets are being revealed.
A bunch of families got paid like all the way along and to build this closet out. And I had a great time designing it and we created this cool space and here we are. You don't need it. But for the game that I play, it's actually, you do need it. And the game is not buy expensive things so you can look cool and impress people and then they will throw more money at you. That's a game some people play. Not my game. My game is create value for others. And with the money that I earn from that, I reinvest into myself so that I can create.
I reinvest into custom closets and 10 of mid-size, mid-level watches. It makes so much sense. He's playing such a smart game. He's playing 4D chess.
Even more value for others. And you say, how does a luxury watch or a fashion watch? Oh, this is pretty.
Oh, so pretty.
Look at this.
Oh,
It's like this really stunning red color, and got that sparkle again.
stunning. It's covered in glitter. Stunning.
The whole dial sparkles.
People will see you from a mile away. I do want to go. I want a Tory Burch gold watch. That actually, I was with Camelia. Shout out Camelia. We were at the store and she was looking for a watch, and then she tried on one of the watches and I tried on the watch and I was like, I actually really like this watch, but I didn't buy it because I wasn't playing the money game correctly. Like a dummy.
Watch sparkles. These are really cool. Yeah, like not that expensive of a watch in terms of how expensive watches can get. It's not a $20 Temu watch. I'm not gonna be able to try it on without taking the plastic off, but
oh wow. What a great video this is so far. I can't put the watch on, but I'm gonna mimic it for you.
well, it's gonna be so gorgeous. You get to see these on me in other videos. Oh, it's already ticking.
Oh, it's already ticking, and I get to see this watch in the wild in other videos. What an honor we have tonight to witness this.
Beautiful. This is a beautiful watch. That's my thing. Like, you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands to get a nice looking watch. Just get something that feels good to you.
I thought he said he was keeping it as a placeholder for when he can buy that $300,000 watch, which is what he actually wants. Okay.
Comes a little tool.
Let me see your
I
shorts.
feel like this was already opened. I'm just like, don't really care. You don't have to get super expensive stuff for it to be helpful for you. And that's what I was saying, like...
Thanks. This is so riveting.
It's about it supporting you so that you can feel better, so that you can serve more. And if it comes down, you realize, like, you have to feel good about creating value for other people, right? Like, you want to, like...
Okay, we'll watch one more watch, and then we'll see him defend himself for being a cult leader.
Go mow their lawn or like shovel their snow or something. Like, that's something that everyone with a lawn or a driveway that gets snow in it needs. Let's keep these organized just in case.
So his advice to make money is go mow someone's lawn.
We end up someone back for whatever reason.
Smart man.
So, like, you've got to feel good doing it. If you're completely exhausted, you feel terrible about yourself, you feel bad, you don't want to do it, then you're not going to do it. Oh, okay, cool. So this is pretty close to the other one I got. This is what I'm saying. I might even send some back. This is pretty cool, but it's got the gold dial.
Oh my god.
So that's the black. Oh, where I keep it. It's also like a date just. It's got the date and day just, I think they call it.
Okay, I can't do this, everybody. Good job, Jeff. I learned so much. This was such a letdown. I understand why it has 1,200 views. I get it. Okay. Cecilia broke down in his arms. Also, they're neurodivergent, apparently, in case you didn't know. Okay. This thumbnail says, "This man is dangerous." Let's just hear. Oh, he's got a Martha Stewart book. That's interesting. That was not what I would think. Let's see what he's got to say, and then we'll listen to them talk together again.
Let's take a moment to set clear relationship expectations, shall we?
Yes.
If you haven't been here before...
He's got the Twilight series as well in the background. I wonder if that's his. Probably.
I'm Jeff Devine. I am a twin flame spiritual guru, and I talk about spirituality.
And watches sometimes.
And this video is important because we are just kind of starting a new chapter in our relationship between you, the viewer, and me, Jeff. And I want to...
Did Cecilia leave him, maybe?
Set the relationship off on the right foot. I have a lot to talk about, and I have a lot that I'd love to share with you. And
in a very casual way that's going to make him snort mucus from his nose.
And I want you to be able to receive it in such a way that it feels good for you.
Thank you.
And it feels good for me too.
Thank you.
Relationships are a two-way street. And I want to continue to show up and deliver content to you on a consistent basis.
Please don't.
And I want to be able to do so in a way that feels incredibly good for both of us. From both sides here, we're having a relationship. And I think that that's what's the new sort of era in social media influencing is relationship. And I want to make sure our relationship feels really, 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 really good and increasingly good. And I know how to do it.
He's our twin flame.
And I think that
Collectively.
having that kind of relationship in your life would feel really good for you. It would feel really good for me as well. And I think like I want you to feel that as my viewer, that
Oh my God, I can't. I need Cecilia. You're right. Cecilia needs to be in this video. She makes him like more tolerable. All right, I've changed gears. We're going to watch them reacting to all of the lies and haters in the Netflix documentary. That will be better. I think that's where we go. This is from 1 month ago, so it's still pretty hot. And it's got 7.5 thousand views. Addressing the cult allegations. I'm going to jump in the middle and moderate here, okay? So everyone, you're in good hands. We're in the same outfits, basically. Okay. Take it away. I need you, Cecilia. Bring it home for us.
They called us a cult leader, but they were lying to you.
They called us a cult leader. Okay, good start.
#1 on Netflix for a docudrama for an entire month in the world. They did another docudrama that went live on Amazon Prime. They did a third documentary drama on Canadian national television, a 2-hour special on us and Twin Flames Universe. They even had a Disney princess do a multi-part Wondery podcast.
I don't even
on
think
us.
she was a princess. I think she was just a Disney character in a Pixar film.
Throughout all of this,
I missed that lore. I did listen to the podcast, but I didn't know there was a Disney Pixar princess. What the hell? What the helly?
we didn't get to say anything.
They talked on that interview for 2 hours, actually, but okay.
I know.
Our perspective was not included at all.
That's not true.
We even hired a public relations firm to help us navigate the situation. And it was just more of the same thing. So we wanted to sit down and just talk to you and tell you our side of the story.
Tell us,
There's
baby.
no PR firm. There's no media. If you
There's no microphone because it sounds like shit. Okay, got it.
ever wanted to hear what was actually going on inside Twin Flames universe without the drama, we're going to tell you. We're not going to hold anything back. We don't have questions prepared.
Oh,
There's no
amazing.
PR statements to follow. It's just us sharing our story because we never got to.
It's tea time. Get
Tea
your,
time,
Get your
yeah.
tea ready, y'all.
Get your tea ready for the podcast.
Papa Bear and Wifey. They're just two millennials getting by with a white bookshelf. We've seen this before. If you're here from the Rachel Hollis era, have we not been at this bookshelf many a time? I think it's just it's an age thing. If you're 35 plus, you have those mugs and you have this assortment of books on a white built-in. It just is what it is.
Yeah,
So
it feels good.
If you don't know us yet, I'm Jeff Devine. This is my wife, Cecilia Devine.
Hey.
We are the co-founders of Twin Flames Universe, and we'd like to tell you our side of the story.
Let's do it.
So where shall we begin? Maybe I think the first pressing question that a lot of people did ask is, like, why now? Like, why are you deciding to talk now? Because it's been a literal...
Because they need money, because they're becoming irrelevant and they've lost their followers, probably.
onslaught of 5 years, and people haven't really heard much from us.
Mhm.
So why now?
Why now? We didn't get a chance to talk before. Anything we would say would just get dumped on by drama. They would cut everything.
Can and will be used against
Yeah.
you.
The media will take anything you say, cut it in a selective way, put it in a new context, add the music they want, construct images, and communicate a completely different thing than what you're communicating, in order to further their narrative, and it doesn't matter what the truth is. So the first thing is you really should.
And they don't do that because they don't know how to edit. So that's why they would never do that to us, because they physically can't.
Not trust what the media says at face value. It is a narrative machine, not a truth-telling machine.
Yes.
And anyone that gets involved in media can tell you the same thing. They're not taking your story and telling it as it is. They're taking your story and telling it as they want to tell you.
Well, and this isn't just us saying that to say it. It was what we personally and literally experienced when we decided to participate in the third docudrama series, the Canadianness, the Canadian show.
That was a journalistic endeavor. She had the bulletproof vest on in between the segments. So that wasn't like a Netflix drama like they're saying. That was like a news segment as part of like a 60-minute style thing for Canada. And they sat down for the interview. So I don't know what they're talking about. We didn't get to tell our story because they absolutely did. That was the whole thing. That was the whole reason they did it, was because they got that interview with them.
And we were like, okay, this is our experience. This is our truth. Here are the receipts. We would like to be able to have the opportunity to share our side, because
which they did.
We haven't been able to, like Jeff was just saying. And not only that, when you're a small, quiet, spiritual niche community in the literal backwaters of the internet, and then all of a sudden you get a world spotlight put on you, and your ideas and your thoughts and what you're exploring spiritually as a spiritual being, like, there's gonna be a lot of philosophical misinterpretation. And that's exactly what happened to us. And we were painted in such a poor...
Jeff is serving face. That's his job right now. He's like,
pathetic light. So that when you would see these clips of, say, like Jeff seemingly angry and yelling, or me looking like I just got shit on by my husband.
I did, but that's out of context.
It actually is not true, because there is a whole context behind all that. When we tried to explain ourselves to the so-called investigative reporter, and for very good reason, she either just threw it out the window, or she made us look bad anyway and wouldn't really give us the time of day to be like, actually, this is what really happened. This is why it seemed like we was upset. Like, I don't know.
Because the media does not tell the truth. It's not beholden to the truth.
No, that's what we learned. The golden age of journalism is dead.
When was the golden age? I'm curious as to when they think the golden age was. I would say 1980s, 1990s, because you could make a real living, you could work your way up, and it was a cool job. Now it does suck, but for reasons unlike what they're saying. The reasons are that there's no pay, it's a bad work environment, yada, 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 private equity, etc. But go off, Queen.
Long gone. I let that go. Trust me. I let it go. I realized they're about something else. And I've seen this happening so much in the world over the past, 5-6 years. This like gradual awareness about the media, and or at least like mainstream media, and how it reports on news. And at first I was like, I don't know, it just seems like people don't like what they have to say because it's about them. And then lo and behold, it literally happened to us, and I'm like, oh, like, you don't care at all. You're about something else. So I think for me, this kind of leads into like the next question, or like the next...
So refute all those things. I want to give an example, please.
Idea or thought of like, well, what about these people that had genuine complaints and upsets about us.
We're getting right into the tea.
Well, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to linger too long on like the media because like I feel like that's
good.
So obvious, like you know, like you see those attention grabbing headlines, like
what they're telling you is that what they're really about. Media is owned by for-profit corporations, and their express purpose is to make money.
We get it. Your express purpose is to also make money. Okay, get into the meat of it. Get to the hot piping tea. We understand the media is corrupting your mind. Okay, let's move on.
Money. Their job is not to serve the public. They'll say that that's their job, and they might do some of that, but at the end of the day, the public is not the one that writes the check and pays their rent. It's the boss at the corporation. And that guy is not interested in what the public cares about and the public interest.
The public definitely wants them to be innocent, for sure.
He's interested in who he's beholden to, which is his stockholders, which is a short-term interest. They just need to make money on the money that they give to the media corporations this quarter. And if they don't, they pull the money out. It's that simple.
The way that they make money is by grabbing your attention.
Yes.
It was so...
Same way that they make money, ironically.
Crazy and extreme surreal experience for us to like turn on Netflix and there's my beloved's face like smiling at me like a sweet little man, and then you know it's this really shitty documentary just slandering us the entire time and completely omitting facts and truth and didn't care to hear our side, and
it told a wholly false narrative.
And when we were reached out by the documentary people, I mean, it was extremely harsh language. The tone was just unreal. It was very accusatory, like, and we've been through this before, so we were somewhat seasoned. But
if they said like, hey guys, we love what you're doing, we want to feature you on a documentary, they'd be like, they deceived us, those deceitful liars, they pretended to be our friends and then they twisted our words. It's like, so I think being upfront and saying these are the accusations, this is what we want to address with you on our program is the ethical way to go, personally.
We did speak to reporters in the past. And
well, technically 3. We started with Vice.
Vice.
Which is now bankrupt, by the way.
Yeah. It's just,
Media is in a desperate position to get attention. Because
this is the problem, because he's not wrong. Like, Vice is like bankrupt and basically defunct at this point. So, but like it doesn't matter. Like, what they're defending themselves for is not predicated on the media. But the thing is, that's why I think things like this thrive, because like cults and things, because the media isn't funded correctly. I don't know how to fix this problem, but like, this is why propaganda is rampant and false media reigns supreme, because there isn't like an actual successful media outlet that is able to be unbiased fully anymore. And I don't like it either. I agree with this guy. What the hell? But just not because of the same reasons.
Because they're
in a decline.
They're in a sunset.
I read several articles that talked about how mainstream media is in a deep decline.
We felt it
financially. Yeah, like it's really, really hard to get a job as a journalist.
True.
Especially if you're younger, like it's even harder unless you're willing to write the smut, you know.
Okay, that's not true. You have to move to Idaho Falls. That's the trade-off.
Because there's a new media that's arising, and it's podcasts and it's social media and it's YouTube and it's anyone around the world with a camera and a video camera can like get online and like share themselves and get a following from it. And
it is one of the biggest controversies in my mind on a daily basis, because as much I literally have a YouTube channel. My dream was to become a news reporter. Here I am not doing that and having a very biased take on things, but it is a more honest take, because I would have had these feelings as a journalist, I would have just kept them to myself. So this is actually me being less biased, in my opinion, in some ways, because I'm being honest about myself. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is something I think about all the time. The decline of the gatekeepers in media has opened the door to a more democratic and a less gatekeepy media system. But with that comes a lot of negatives. And I never know how to exactly feel about that, because I personally am benefiting from the democratized media system. And I think it's much better for me personally. But I also think for society, you need a fourth estate keeping tabs and having that be funded to be able to watch things like this unfold and tell the public about them and to spend the time investigating. But she's right. This is not the world we live in anymore. It doesn't exist. ProPublica is about the only one that's really got it going on. And the rest are sort of, in the decline. I do agree, unfortunately, as much as that pains me to say.
And I think that can be really difficult and challenging for someone who went to school for journalism, and especially if they say went to a prestigious school,
did not,
and did everything right, and then all of a sudden some youngsters from the internet are essentially doing a similar thing and having success. But
I know, how is this so personal to me? Oh my God. Are they my twin flame? My twin op?
Hey, like, that's the way of the world. It's in constant change and in constant flux. And one thing that Jeff and I had learned over the course of our life so far is that the world is always changing, and that in order to stay with the times, you need to evolve with the times. And I mean, that's a key strategy in just survival and thrival,
Thrival.
Cool. So where do you want to take this?
My middle name.
Well, we were talking about,
refute. It's been 10 minutes. They're like, we haven't been able to tell our story. They didn't ask us any questions. We weren't able to tell the truth. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. They have not said one truth yet. But I guess that's where we're going to start. They had to lay the foundation that the media is all biased and horrible. Okay, we got it.
Like the perception of the media on us and why it was manufactured the way it was.
We got it.
But also leading into how it all began.
Well, it started, the media
I'm
part
Jeff.
Started with this accusatory narrative from Vice. Is that where you want to start, or you want to start with Twin Flame Ascension
You can
School?
start wherever you want to start.
Just start.
I don't really want to talk about the media. Like, that's not the actual core thing.
No.
I wanted
We're
to
twins.
address the media as
Flames.
so that you, our viewer, understands our perspective on what we went through.
Mm-hmm.
Our perspective is that the media is not a truth-telling machine. And so everything that it says
We get it.
is, you have to wonder if it's doing it for profit. And I'm telling you, this was pure profit. This was a cash grab, exploitation, and suppression of the truth so that they could get their money out of the situation and move on. And some of them did. They got invited to the Emmys for the docudrama exploitation.
It even
they did.
got
It is okay. As someone with an Emmy, thank you very much. It is such a weird thing to think, and I don't know if I've always thought this, but I've thought it definitely recently, that it is weird to go to the Emmys as a journalist because they have them just for journalism, like locally in different areas. Like they have like a Southeast and then a North, whatever, you get it. And it'll be like, and the winner of breaking news is 10 dead in a shooting. Yay! And everyone claps. It's like such a bizarre dystopian kind of thing because you are getting awarded for the coverage of sometimes very horrible tragedies, and in this case it's like exposés, so it's like you're cheering and applauding for the sex cult exposed, yay! And then they're like holding the awards and you're all happy, and it's like the reason you won is some like horrible thing. Anyways, it is kind of a weird feeling to go through.
a nomination. Was it an Oscar nomination for
Emmy nomination?
Emmy nomination.
And it got some other award for a great editing, and we didn't disagree. You guys did
a great
editing. You
editing.
did a great job.
You really made the
to edit the
characters out of us.
Out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even recognize myself. I didn't recognize him at all. I'm like, wow, good job editing.
So when that level of scrutiny comes onto you, we're not here just dismissing it like, oh yeah, let's just move on, guys. We took it all very seriously. Personally, we didn't watch the Netflix or Amazon docudramas. We didn't want to.
Then what do you even know? Then maybe everything that they said was accurate. How do you even know if you don't watch it? Ugh, these people.
Watch ourselves get, abused for hours. No. But also, it was just begging for attention. And it was a moral victory for us to say, I'm not even going to watch that.
Yeah.
Many of our students did watch them. And
so we got a synopsis. Yeah.
We put together a team of, we have many PhDs and master's level educators, people from Ivy League universities. We put together our smartest, most educated people. And we said, hey, let's do a thorough investigation and evaluation of all of the accusations and allegations.
Internal investigations always turn out perfectly.
Because
we took it seriously, you guys. Like, we really did, these accusations. We're like, if we are out of order, if we made a mistake, we need to repair. Like, we need to course correct, because it's not okay.
But that's not what the media is interested in doing. They're not bringing up hurts for healing. They're bringing up and creating hurts and expanding hurts for attention. And that is extremely harmful to society, not just by the people and communities.
Twin flame. My name is Jeff. My name is Cecilia. Let's go to the movies and then we'll drive a Beamer, 'cause we don't have the Mustang anymore. It got repoed right at my front door. Oh my gosh. Twin flames. Honey badger, don't give a no shame. Gonna find your lover. Gonna find your mother. 'Cause you're in the twin flame universe. I started it for us. Yay! And the winner is Twin Flame-a-thon.
They exploit directly, but because of the false storytelling that they extend out into society.
My twin flames
you don't
here.
know what the truth is.
How do you know?
How do you know what the truth is on anything? Because you can't trust the one telling you the story.
Which reminds me of an article I read about the U.S. government, their new stance towards Chinese, communist government is to distrust them in anything they say, distrust them, and then verify, rather than trust what they say and verify it. It's
the Chinese communist media do a report on them too. What is it? What's the relevance of that?
And that's what I learned with our experience too with the media is I can't actually trust what they say.
You should not trust them.
And in a way I feel like it's become quite dystopic, because I feel like in many ways I don't know what's actually going on in the world.
It's kind of strange.
Because it's done through this filter that I can't actually
I just want to say, I don't even think they know what's going on in the world.
Do they know?
They take this frame and, honestly, I really liked all the people most of the people I interacted with from the media. It's not like the media is full of just horrible people doing horrible things.
Right.
It's a systemic issue. I genuinely,
it's in the system.
And still have kind feelings about many of the people that I encountered through this. Some I definitely don't. But
the hot women, I do. The production men, I also do. Okay, sorry.
What was I saying?
We don't know.
It was just like a
distrust and verify.
Distrust, yeah.
That's what I was going
Well, I lost that. I don't know. I was just thinking about the warm feelings that I had for some of these people. I genuinely liked them.
Yeah.
Some I didn't get
but
close
there's
enough
a
to know.
systemic issue.
Right, they're not bad people.
These
Same thing with the spiritual community. There's a systemic issue of manipulation and coercion and cult tactics. It's also a system as well.
A system that is not what we believe is for the collective human welfare.
Oh, right. And they're under enormous pressure to earn a profit, and truth is not all that important. And maintaining a reputation in a dying sunset industry is not as important as making money now to survive.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is they take this position of enormous authority over society and say, we see everything. We are the media.
Truth. Yeah.
I have cameras and eyes everywhere, and you don't. You are in the ground, you small being, you peasant. And I will tell you what's going on, and you must trust me because of my position and authority in society.
It's 11 p.m. You are a small peasant and we are in the sky. We know everything. Eyewitness News at 11. Coming up, we look down upon you.
And while that may have been true, at least in part, in previous eras, it's no longer true, I believe. Yeah. They don't know any better than you because they also have the internet just like you, and that's all they're using. And when they go and talk to people, they're not asking for the truth. They're just extracting a narrative. They don't know more than you.
And what I found very interesting, and this relates exactly to what you're saying, is I read an article based off...
Oh my God, how many articles have you read in your life, Cecilia, and how many are you going to tell us about?
Of the Netflix crew that did the documentary on us, because I'm like, how did you do it, the docudrama? Like, how did you do it? And I found out exactly how they did it. They got access to our classes from a defaulter, and who, by the way, illegally stole like thousands of hours of content and private meetings, which are not for the world.
So it was real then. It actually was real. Okay.
And she was under NDA, by the way.
Imagine you're having like an intense family meeting and someone records it and puts it on the internet, and then everyone judges you and they're like, this is what you are.
They frame you to be
You're a shitty
bad.
Mom. You're a shitty dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that would be weird, but you guys aren't a family. This is a business where you make millions of dollars, multi-millions, according to Jeff, which can afford him several watches. So that's the difference. It's accountability. But okay.
God, that's exactly what I felt. Anyway, so this is how they got the content that they did. They used AI with keywords, and the AI scrubbed through all of our content with these keywords, and then they took those clips and they made a video about us. And I was like,
I don't think that's how the documentary was made. It was pretty highly professionally done, but okay.
Oh my God. You never watched a single class. You have no idea about our relationship with these people. You have no idea about the teachings. You probably never read our book. You have no idea who we are. You're just going based off of what
we said. You're just going off of what we said. That's so false.
These former students and family members decided to say about us, and took our words and misinterpreted it. And by the way, how easy is it to sell a cult leader to a spiritual group of people, and Jeff and I as spiritual leaders and spiritual founders. That means like you can look at every person who is a founder of a spiritual group or spiritual movement in America or the world today and be like, you're a cult leader. Do you know how easy?
Well, I think when he started to make videos and say, I'm Christ reincarnated, I just want to tell you guys I'm Christ, and then she was saying, I'm banging the Christ, which is somewhere here. I used to have it. Let's see.
Back to the swallowing. Take my load. I'd fill that load.
I had a thrive. Go on, Raya.
I don't know where I put those. They're somewhere.
As I was sitting in the cold plunge.
This one.
I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
There you go.
$15,000 in crystals here.
There's another one. What about this one?
They are grifters.
That's another one.
It looks like I'm just sitting. In reality, I'm managing lots of things. I'm feeling lots of things.
There you go. Bang in the Christ, somewhere in there.
See, it is.
That's where I think it becomes, okay, cultish, cult leader territory.
Is to like just paint that on top of someone who's doing what we're doing. Like, come on, it's not even creative.
Yeah.
You didn't even try.
This was cheap.
It's
It's almost as cheap as my Paul Rich watch in gold and red. Okay.
Really cheap. And then you framed us like, oh, look at what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. Which I feel like brings us to, this next piece I'd like to address, which is, our philosophy and, how and why it was misinterpreted. So the big upset in the room, this was their I gotcha moment, even though there was no was about our stance on gender and sexuality within our spiritual community and within the twin flame community at large. Actually, it isn't just us that has this belief. It's that a twin flame union contains a masculine and a feminine soul within it. And that's what charges the attraction in the union. And that's from our experience and from our own spiritual explorations. That's what we have defined and experienced as the truth of reality, because that's the only way we want to live is what is the truth? What is spiritual reality? What is a spiritual truth? Jeff and I, although we're physical, we don't live in the physical world. We live in the spiritual world. And to us, like that.
Where are you right now? In your spiritual office? We don't live on Earth. Oh.
That's the foundational basis of our reality. And so when I took my own spiritual journey, it was a very logical question and conclusion that I arrived at, which is, am I attracted to men or women? And really what I knew when I was saying that.
What was the answer? Still unsure. Questioning.
Question. This was like back in my early 20s. Am I attracted to a masculine energy or a feminine energy? Because I was very clear in myself. I'm a feminine energy. There's nothing in me that feels like penis or is penis, and that masculine energy.
Don't be so sure. Okay. Nothing in me feels like penis. What a statement that is. Right now. Close your ears. Don't listen. Mommy's making rude, crude comments, okay? Asari Shepherd, thank you so much. Asari Shepherd says, didn't themselves to donor a kid? I'm scared. Yes, there is a child somewhere. And I don't know if they're going to bring that up, but that was another thing in the documentary, the Canadian newscast one, where they brought that up, where at one point they wanted the kids to all marry each other in the cult, in the group. And then they abandoned that. But they also said that their daughter is going to be one of those people. Now, this is a vision that they got from God, that their daughter is going to be asexual or like never have a partner or something like that, which is a very weird thing to say about your kid. But they were putting that on her as like, she's like a year old, I think. Anyways, yes, they do have one child.
I remember like trying it on, like just pretending I was a man and being manly and wearing wearing a costume. It was like a Halloween costume. It was Halloween. I was Luke Skywalker or something. And I just remember feeling like, I'm not a guy. I'm not a guy. I'm definitely a woman. I feel women in every way.
She feels vagina, I guess is what she would say in this case. Asari, thank you so much, Asari. Asari says, dude looks Wait, dude looks me running a movie in his head. He's definitely got the eyebrows of steel. He's got the what's the blue steel going on. He like kind of reminds me of a guy that'd be like at a hipster coffee shop and he's just wanting someone to come up to him so bad. He's ordered like a coffee black, no anything on the side. He's got a book, but it's unopened. He's just sitting there thinking about stuff with that gaze, hoping that he gets approached by somebody, waitress, anybody. That's what he's there for in this outfit. That's the vibe I'm getting. And Asari, this is for you.
Oh, why does the sky look like a grid?
And also,
I'm connected to the mystics and the different starseed systems.
And finally,
demon.
There you go.
And so that was like my spiritual journey. And I did, like when I was in college, I experimented with a couple women who were more on the masculine edge, and I didn't feel it. I was like, I didn't feel it there. And I was like, you know, I don't think it's...
He's trying so hard not to smile. He had a little twitch. He's like...
so much that this isn't my person. But I also think like this is not what I'm actually attracted to. I'm attracted to a man in a male body.
I'm attracted to men with long, beautiful brunette hair, like myself. A mirror, some may say.
So one of the fundamentals of attracting your ultimate lover is understanding what your polarity is. Am I masculine or feminine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And am I attracted to the masculine or the feminine? And
he's fairly feminine, let's be honest. I get the vibe. So how do they match?
The twin flame teaching, as far as we've understood so far, this is the cutting edge of our spirituality.
Cutting edge.
Is if you want your twin flame, they are the opposite polarity of you, masculine and feminine.
If you are on the twin flame journey.
And your body is not necessarily an indicator of masculine or feminine.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's a spiritual journey you need to take within. And listen, that's hard.
Yeah.
Period.
Especially if you're masculine.
Right.
Okay.
That one piece alone is not easy. And we ask you to, if you've seen the docudramas, if you've been part of the drama, we ask you to have compassion for the former students and I guess the family members or whoever else was involved.
And for the victims of the beginning. The real victims, I mean, the people in the cult were definitely victims, but the real victims were the romantic pursues, like the targets that the people in the group were told to go and like force themselves upon. Those are like the real victims that did not sign up for these courses, but were hounded by their alleged twin flame. Though I feel bad for those people, like coworkers and stuff, and they were like going up to them and saying, "You're my twin flame. These people on the internet told me that, and we have to be together." And they're like, "What the hell?" And like even one woman was like arrested because she tried to get back with her ex-boyfriend so many times and she kept following him around because that's what Jeff and Cecilia told them to do. Like, this is your, you know, your man. And she would like follow him to clubs and stuff. And he called the cops. So anyways, that was a crazy part. Then they changed it over time to, oh no, actually it's not people on the outside world. It's in the community you're matched with somebody. But they had way more women than men, it seemed like, I think. So more women turned into men physically, sometimes I think with surgery and hormones and stuff. Now, is that coercion? I don't know. Perhaps. It's definitely pressure. Can you prove that in court? Probably not. I don't think, personally. But who knows? Asari Shepherd, thank you so much, Asari. Asari says she's attracted to femboy here. Yeah, I'm a little confused. She doesn't have penis in her, but she wants penis in her. There's a contradiction there.
I had this awakening in my kitchen.
This is what I have to say.
Take my load.
Thanks, Heidi.
Breast.
That's what Cecilia thinks about deep down.
Go on, Raya, right now.
Everybody?
A radical monogamy. There's nothing more whole.
Oops.
Horrors.
Okay.
have compassion for them, because not only is this work difficult that we do,
maybe
being in proximity to the people who are doing this work is also extremely difficult, because you didn't decide to do this work. Someone close to you did. And when you do this spiritual work that we call the teachings of union, the twin flame ascension journey, you're going to change real fast. You're going to transform. And that is what I feel the real root of all of this is. All this drama, if you take away the media, if you take away the sensationalism, it comes down to a disagreement between us and a few former students and a few former family members, or family members of students or former students.
Yeah.
And that disagreement is real. We do not dispute that disagreement. It's okay to have disagreements. And we're not saying
Agreed.
all you people who disagree with us, which once again, it's just a small handful. The media wants you to believe it's this huge amount of people and it's this, hemorrhaging cult that's falling apart. It's so silly.
I mean, they got up to 40,000 online followers at one point. That's quite a lot, I think. More than I would anticipate would be interested in this crap, but you never know.
One of the first things that I said in our original call to the reporter for the Canadian documentary was like, this is not what the majority of people experience. This is not even what the minority of people experience. This is a fringe group of people that have a beef with us and have gone to the media and had it exploited and exploded all over the world. And it was just like completely ignored other people's experience. And like, you can just go on our website.
They had the woman that she was in the first segment. It was a woman who was like, I'm still in the group. I love it. I use their teachings. I'm learning, blah, blah, blah. So they did include somebody that I think it was a plant, because it seems so odd that she would like have no hesitation about joining and listening to these crazy things at this point. But they did feature somebody that is currently in the group and happy. So that's not true.
Website, and you can read, like, we have a testimonial page. It's like you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
That's hundreds.
And they're all authentic, like.
And they're extraordinarily positive.
Yep, we got a unions
But
page.
A what?
Here's the caveat. It's really hard. Okay? Like,
this is an essential
this is
journey.
not a too good to be true thing.
No.
This is a group of people who put in a lot
Putin?
of really hard work together.
Freudian slip.
And got exceptional results as a result. The timing in which you get results and the level of result you get, no guarantees. No one can tell you what's going to happen next on your spiritual journey. No one can tell you just how much or how long it's going to take.
I thought he could, because he got messages from God and he would just tell you who your match was. So that's not true anymore. What's the point of doing this then?
I can tell you this. It's really, really hard. Yeah. It's the hardest thing you can do in life is look within yourself and feel everything.
Date.
And be okay with what you're feeling.
True. Am I right?
Yes.
And as an aside, throughout all of this, we have worked hard to be our best example of the teachings of union.
You bumped your head.
In the spotlight here. Under pressure, enormous global pressure to fold or collapse, they're trying to throw us in jail. They're trying to take our baby away. Like, this was no small deal.
Oh yeah, we had people constantly driving by our home and
stop in front of our house, take pictures,
Someone
drive
came
up our
my
driveway.
Reporters coming to my front stoop.
Really, like, vile, degenerate level behavior.
Yeah.
For years of this.
Oh yeah, just really awful.
Our aim was just to be the best example of this that we could be. Just to humbly sit with the feelings that we were having and experiencing, love ourselves there, like our teaching with the mirror exercise teaches, and move through it. And I gotta say that this was an was a wonderful opportunity for us to not only apply our spiritual teaching, but to test it in really hot fires and to see if it worked out for us and our students.
See if
did it?
See how good it is.
Yeah, I want to know. I've based my life on it, so.
Oh yeah, we're like scientists, in the lab. Like,
exactly.
Okay, can we continue to better our lives on this teaching? Because it's not just impacting and influencing us; it's impacting and influencing other people.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to make sure that that it's doing good work, positive work in people's lives.
We do take enormous responsibility for our teaching and our conduct and our community and its conduct, and we do our very best to ensure that it's a healthy community.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bummer that some people say that they had a not so positive experience. We'll get into that. But as we were saying before, like, we got our smartest people to go through every allegation. We took it very seriously.
Give one and tell us how it's a lie.
And we couldn't find any truth to any of it.
No.
So people asked us, how come you didn't say you're sorry? Do you feel responsible for their hurts? We don't feel responsible for the feelings and choices of others, and neither should you.
Yeah.
You're responsible for your own feelings and your own choices. We do feel responsible for our conduct and our community and teaching, and to the best of anyone's knowledge, after we scrutinized every detail, we've done a phenomenal job of serving and loving and caring for every single student who has passed through our doors to the best of our ability.
The former students that were upset about, us inviting them to, look at their gender or sexuality, I mean, no one was forced to change their gender. No one's ever been forced to change their gender.
No one's been forced to do anything.
And it's literally written in our book. We have a chapter in our book on the gender thing, and you can read exactly how we think and feel about it. And no one's ever been forced into it. And at that point of time in our teaching,
I mean, like I said already, I tend to agree. I don't know, unless you're like holding people down, that you can prove it again in a lawsuit or a crime type of way. But it's not good behavior, and I do think coercion is real and pressure is real, especially when you look up to these people. But yeah, I don't think, from what I've heard, that there's enough evidence personally to convict them on that one. I think the labor, probably, if they're not paying people for work, that could be something.
We were working directly with students at the time. We were forming Twin Flame Ascension School. We were in the middle of it. We were people's guide. Like, this was the relationship. This was the contractual relationship that you got into. You wanted us to help you with your twin flame journey and your ascension journey. And we agreed. We were like, okay, well, you're here, you paid, you say you want this, so okay, like, let's go. This is what it is. And so when we invited people to look into their gender and to look into their sexuality and to feel what's there, feel what is the truth, to heal any upsets that arrive, and come to your own conclusion, that was what you wanted from us, and that is what we decided to do for you. And there were many people that we invited to look into what their polarity was, and they have never been happier. Like, just absolutely happy and thriving. And they all say that, like, yeah, it was always there before we were even inviting them to look at their polarity. Like, they knew. They're like, yeah, it was always kind of there. And so then if they wanted to continue exploring that further and changing themselves, hey, that was on them. That was not on us at all. We were just there to help you attract your twin flame to you and achieve harmonious twin flame union.
And that's done through self-awareness.
It's done through self-awareness.
And self-love.
Yeah.
And what genders we happen to have in the group at that time that we're looking to be matched up. But whatever. Yeah, that's not. Don't focus on that.
Honestly, I don't have any problems if anyone identifies as a lesbian or gay or non-binary. Like, honey.
How does it? Oh, honey. Don't call me honey. How does it work in twin flame union if you're non-binary? How does that work? If you have to be feminine to meet a masculine, how does non-binary work in that scenario? But I want her to call me honey. Maybe she'll explain.
As a lesbian or gay or non-binary, like, honey, you do you. Like, don't even care what I think and feel. Like, I live by my own choices and my own feelings.
I agree.
And like, you should too. You're not like beholden to anyone but yourself.
But I doubt that's what they were saying at the time they were doing the meetings and the classes and whatever. Like, yeah, I agree with what she's saying, but like, I don't think that's what they were. That's their vibe back then when they were telling people, you need to be matched with this person. God told me. Like that, they've changed their tune since then.
Yourself. And so, I felt that was very unfair of the former students to say that, because that.
Welcome, Karen of Greenhaven. Welcome to the membership. Woo!
This self-heal and deworming community is pretty amazing.
True.
Was so far stretched from the truth.
It's just a narrative the media could cling to and spout and get attention.
Right.
And cause upset.
To frame us further.
It's just weird. It's a weird belief to have. I think that's why it's interesting. It's just odd.
Why us? You know, I've got, I was thinking about that this morning in preparation for this. And you got to ask yourself, like, why Twin Flames Universe? Why were they like the next, the next swing after Nexium got taken down?
Gosh, yeah.
So do you support Nexium? Is that what you're saying, Jeff? Because I would not, if I was their PR person, I'd be like, do not equate yourself with Nexium. Because in my mind, they are not Nexium level cult leaders and criminals. But if they think they are, then maybe there is some charges that could be laid. Because if they think they're on the same page as them, yikes.
Because our society was thirsty for cult stories. And Nexium documentaries came out, and everyone was in an uproar.
And true crime podcasts were popping up everywhere. And
then,
And then TV shows based on these crime podcasts, true crime podcasts.
Because they're very interesting. That's why.
Huge sensational
Huge
wave,
money there.
pandemic, right? Like,
there's also a big wave of coaching to find love and coaching to improve your life and coaching to be rich. It's almost as if everything is motivated by money in a capitalist society. Weird.
Why Jeff and Cecilia and Twin Flames Universe? And I think I've got a few reasons.
Because he's Christ and they're so hot and we're all jealous of his watch collection. It's a conspiracy.
First of all, like Twin Flames was an up and coming, a cultural thing. It wasn't in the lexicon before all this went big. It was.
That's not quite true. I don't think. I knew about it long ago as a concept.
Getting there.
It was getting there. Yeah.
And we were one of the bigger Twin Flame, brands out there at the time.
There's other ones?
We felt strongly that we were...
There are Twin Flames Universe. There's Twin Flames University, Twin Flames State. Oh boy.
The only ones doing the real spiritual work. There were others doing real spiritual work. We felt we were the only ones producing the real result of harmonious Twin Flame union. And we found it was really important to us, like morally, that other people know about this idea. Hey, like I have the most extraordinary love.
I got married, so I need to profit on this and monetize it. It's the only way, morally.
And I know how to get it. And we wanted to help other people get it too.
We felt it was our dharma, like you said, our moral responsibility to share it with the world if the world was coming to our doorstep. And so that was one of the main like motivations for us in engaging with the media, was because we felt that there was just genuine interest in the concept of twin flames. And for us, we have always felt that it was the natural evolutionary step in relationships. I remember when we were in our 20s, there was this trend of conscious relationships.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, like, yeah, we're moving away from soulmate relationships. Like, those are great, but they're not eternal. We're not actually designed to be romantic with soulmates.
Now we're getting into the real tea. I need to know what paradigm we're entering right now. Situationships, perhaps. That's what it feels like these days. Some guy 0000001. Thank you so much. Some guy says, catching you live makes my day. Also, F these guys. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
These people are con artists.
I agree.
My guardian angels, my spirit guides.
These are my guardian angels, Jeff and Cecilia.
I'm connected to the mystics and the different starseed systems.
This is an old one.
Grandma has lung cancer.
That's a throwback. That's a medical medium throwback. God, I hate him so much. Okay, and just for you, some guy, we need to cleanse the palate. Oh, I feel so much better. God.
But like conscious relationships in my mind was really twin flames. And then when I discovered the realm and the concept of twin flames and the word itself, I was like, oh, that's what I'm looking for. Yep, that's it. That's the thing.
Before 2006, every relationship was unconscious.
And that makes total and complete sense. I grew up as a Catholic, and we were taught about Adam and Eve and how, God created a wife for every man and a husband for every woman, and I just felt like, I am created with somebody. Like, I felt it so true in my soul, just this deep resonance of like, I am created as a twin flame with one other person here, like to be romantic with and to go ever deeper in divine love with forever and ever and ever. And this is a spiritual path that brings me ever closer to the divine Godhead.
The divine Godhead? Okay. I was going to make a joke that and it just so happens that my last name is Divine. But then she said that and it threw me off.
Like, God's design is perfect. Of course God would create a perfect romantic partner.
Why would God make you have to change your gender, though? Why would he just not save the step and just match it accordingly? I don't know. It's so confusing. Why would God confuse us like this?
For you, so that you could go deeper in your relationship with God. It just makes sense. And so,
does it make sense?
And all of my research and my feelings just verified it. And you can find this as far back as not just Christianity, but it's also in Islam, in the Quran. It's also even further back in history in Indian spirituality. They have so many their whole pantheon is like twin flames. This concept is very popular in India. And I think
ancient Greece too.
Yes, ancient Greece. It goes back to there as well. With, was it
Good job, Jeff. Good job. He knew something. He's so smart. He's a smart man. Yes, Jeff. Yes. Good job. You named a place. Yes.
Socrates talking about this, or the Plato. This isn't like a new concept. It's always been there, folks. So when people say, no, you don't have a twin flame, I just laugh. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess earlier humans were wrong. They weren't all wrong. Like there's a reason why certain concepts and technologies continue to be passed forward into.
Yes. Our ancestors were all madly, deeply in love, for sure. That's what I've heard. from historical texts.
Generations, because there's truth to them. So, were you done talking about this part?
Hopefully.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, Mommy, no. I wasn't done. Let me talk. You never let me talk.
No.
No.
Thank you.
So we
Were you done?
met each other. We found this thing, twin flames. And it was the most incredible thing. Like, I was looking
I'm convinced.
for it and I found it. And the next step was, I can't keep this to myself, so I need to share it with others. And so we went about doing that. And we kind of, this is how we started our career together. And
it's better than working, for
you know,
sure.
the reporter from CTV asked me, like, what's your motivation behind everything? And this
Money.
is my motivation is I got something beautiful and I wanted to share it with others.
Okay, well, that's
And
bullshit.
Off we went with, we started with Awaken Intimacy and then it evolved into Twin Flames Universe. And as we were really picking up steam and growing, it was growing culturally. Like, Paris Hilton met her twin flame and got married to him on 11/11.
Yeah.
And named her her media company 1111 Media that she's going to pass on as legacy to her children.
And her daughter was born on November 11th.
Oh, that's wild.
11/11. Like, hello.
You know, Machine Gun Kelly.
What does that have to do with twin flames? Okay. Paris Hilton's involved? Great.
Kelly and Megan Fox say they're twin flames.
They broke up. So.
Nora Jones, I think, made a song called
Don't
Flame
you
Twin.
dare.
Like this was...
Don't you dare put my Lord and Savior, Nora Jones, in your mouth and say that she's involved in this crap. She made a song, okay. Is it called... I saw the sun. Don't know why Jeff didn't come. Waited by Shalia's thong. Don't know why Jeff didn't come. Oh, probably 'cause his watch don't work. Oh. I love Nora Jones.
Early on, it was starting to get big, and then Vanity Fair reached out to us after the Vice thing. And so, like, we're kind of contextualizing, like, why us? Like, Twin Flames was getting big in the culture.
There was a cultural moment. Yeah, there was a cultural moment
And
happening.
we were at the forefront of it. And
the Vanity Fair magazine that came out before our spread showed a twin flame couple that, you know, that they recognized each other as twin flames. It was Shaman Dirk and it was Princess Margaret of Denmark or something. A princess. Sorry, I forgot
it's
her
called
name.
The Princess and the Shaman, the article.
Princess and the Shaman, yeah.
And it seemed like they kind of wanted to mint those two as the twin flame leader because they were much more Hollywood friendly and connected. And they wanted to shun us as the bad twin flame couple. Media plays its little puppeteering games, but it doesn't really matter. It's not really relevant. The point is, like, also in that moment, like, we fully engaged with the press. Like,
Nora Jones looks different in 2020. What the hell? Who is this? This is just gotta take a quick aside for this moment. It's called Flame Twin. Who is this woman? I guess it looks like her. Okay, I thought that was her. I'm like, what the hell? What the helly? Again. She looks different with long hair. Don't know why I'm a twin flame. Oh, don't know why I'm in the woods. Oh. Okay, sorry. I just like singing.
We were like...
If he would have dropped Sade and John Mayer, I would have thought for sure that this is all real and they're speaking directly to me.
Giving everything we could to support this Vanity Fair article and to spark it and to give it flight. We poured ourselves for a year into it.
Oh my gosh.
And it was
moving.
Yeah, unbelievably disappointing when what happened, what came out did. It was just a joke.
Oh my God.
We poured our love into that to bring this into the world. And
We poured love into this free advertising and it backfired. Ugh.
Off it went.
Off it went. Yeah, podcasts came from it.
We didn't engage in any of the media after that.
No.
Until CTV.
Right.
Because we learned that the media doesn't do anything for you.
They don't care. They're gonna do what
They did like 5 different. They did Vice, CTV, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Vanity Fair. I think they were in the New York Times. They did them all. They're like, we learned our lesson after 12 media conversations.
they want to do. They're gonna write their little story, and you're just a character in their story, and you give up your story. And that was the last thing I ever said to Alice Hines, who wrote the Vanity Fair magazine, is like, nobody has the right to share my story but me. And I reclaim my story. And this is my story. And
you have the right to remain silent as well. You don't have to give interviews to anybody. If you don't want people to tell your story, you shouldn't give the interview.
This is my truth. And I'm going to share it.
Share it, girl.
To me.
Share
This is us reclaiming that.
Oh, exactly.
If I was a twin flame, I would paint my little flame. And then I'd put on a Paul Rich watch and watch the sunrise again. It's kind of like a niche Nora Jones song. Okay,
so, big cultural, bubble with Twin Flames. And then we were driving to the forefront. We're also, like Cecilia was saying, easy to misinterpret. We have a ton of content.
Yeah.
And there were a few people from our community creating drama, and as they left, didn't want to leave respectfully, had big upsets. Okay. All of that was just primer, though, for the real thing, which was cults and true crime and the pandemic, which got everyone upset and afraid and angry and also
needing their content.
Another element of fear of religions, and like just this huge cultural apex came together, and we were just the easy pickings off the top, eager and willing to engage.
Yeah.
And
that's their fault.
They gobbled it up, and off it went for 5 years.
Off it went. Yeah.
So
if you don't want articles about you, don't talk to the reporters. Problem solved.
We think they've kind of gotten sick of the story. People kind of get this is boring.
Yeah.
Jeff and Cecilia and Twin Flames Universe are not engaging in a way that we want them to.
Ever since
they didn't go down.
Ever since Pluto,
well, they spoke too soon.
went into Aquarius, things have changed for the better.
Cool. Yeah, astrology.
The investigation begins. Pluto is in Aquarius. The government's coming to get them. They were waiting.
Throughout all of this insane pressure, we grew. Not because of it.
It's true, though.
But despite it.
It's funny because like they're circulating around the media after the Netflix docudrama that like we weren't doing well and we were losing revenue, losing members. But I'll be honest, it wasn't true. We only lost a very small handful of people who were on the fence anyway during the Netflix docudrama. And to be honest, not once did our revenue drop throughout all this. Actually.
So then you're actually not victims at all. And I shouldn't feel bad for you at all, which I don't. But I definitely don't feel bad for you now. So you like the attention is what you're saying. So we should give you more negative attention.
It's just increased because of all the attention we're getting. I guess it's true. Bad press, good press. Any press is good press.
So what are we doing here?
Apparently, it didn't mean that we liked it. That's not what we liked. That's not what we wanted. Not what we preferred. But like, it is what it is. And we were under enormous pressure and stress the entire time. And we did have to adjust ourselves, and that was really hard because we really do like being out there. We like talking. We
know.
like sharing ourselves with you guys, but the environment wasn't conducive for us to do that. Mm-hmm. So
we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going to stop sharing the Twin Flame teaching with the world.
No.
Just because the world got upset or it got really, 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 really hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're still here. We're still doing it.
We refuse to get a job. We are never giving up on this dream.
Nothing has changed.
Mhm.
We're still helping people. People are still getting into harmonious union to this day. People are still healing to this day.
And we've never done anything illegal. So like we're not going anywhere.
Imagine that.
And we did. We checked in with our professionals and we said, is there something illegal going on? We don't think so. We pay you guys, and they're like, nope. All your books are straight and fair, and yep, everything is in good order. You've never.
We'll see. An internal investigation always reveals the truth.
There's nothing illegal going on, and yeah, like I guess they had was it the detective?
I'm convinced.
Detectives came in and when we lived downstate, investigated us. They didn't find
Sent it to
anything
the
because there's
FBI.
nothing going on, you guys. And if you don't like what we're saying, you can turn off your computer. You can leave a group. You can unsubscribe. Like there's no one forcing you here.
Very true. Very true. But it is just funny and interesting to explore.
You can just go.
I think that, beneath this, though, the real issue, with all that aside, right, the cultural reasons, there is a spiritual reason that us and this happened. And it's that we're touching a hurt in society.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
It's a very real hurt. And it's the hurt of a sense of separation from your joy, from God, from love itself. And here we are loudly and proudly and confidently shouting, love is real, love is real, you can have it.
It's for you too. Just listen to us.
Just listen to us and change everything about yourself. It can happen for you too.
Sounds like such a good deal. That's right. That's what she said, right? But it's true. Like we have found a method that can help you attract the life of your dreams. And don't just listen to us and take it at face value. The only way to verify it yourself is to try it on. Like genuinely try it on. And then see what happens. And then see how you feel. Like, no, this isn't really working. I don't really think this is for me. Or, hey, I applied the work and wow, like blocks are clearing. Like my life is getting better. My health is improving. My
health
relationships
is improving. This is gonna fix my health now. That's a new claim.
are improving. Oh my God, my twin flame just unblocked me. I just got a sudden windfall of cash. Like I'm not even like.
Okay. Your twin flame unblocked you. There's a lot to unpack with that sentence. I got a windfall of cash from listening to these bozos. The only people who are getting windfalls of cash are these bozos, unfortunately.
Improving. My relationships are improving. Oh my God, my twin flame just unblocked me. I just got a sudden windfall of cash. Like I'm not even like
happens all the time.
I'm not even making this up. Like
Yeah.
this is what literally happens as like a daily in our community for those who genuinely do the spiritual work, because
I feel like they all just lie. I think spiritual communities are full of liars, to be honest, because I've been in places like this, and not like this, twin flame stuff, but like spiritual new age stuff, and it's just like everyone just is full of shit. I don't know. They probably do tell them that, but it's not true. I think it just attracts a certain level of delusion in people, or delusional people like to be around other delusional people. And hey, why not?
Spiritual work that we share with you guys has real spiritual results, and that's what I have felt in my life. Like, and I had my spiritual mentor, and she taught me the method, and I tested.
Oh, so it's not even your method. Okay, cool. So you stole it from someone else. This is very Mel Robbins of you, Cecilia.
When I was with her, I went all in. And I noticed, like, I started feeling better. Even if nothing was happening externally, everything was changing internally. I was feeling so much better, so much more freer, so much more happier and
Jeff's
healthier.
out.
I was reframing experiences in my life that were bringing me suffering, and that ultimately started leading me to my liberation. And then I met Jeff, And I had always, like, I had been seeking my twin flame. I'd been looking for him. I had been wondering. I'd been praying to God and asking God. I've been doing my prayers and my little sacred rituals. And then one day he just showed up so casually on Facebook. And I was like, oh my God.
Showing off his watches so casually on Facebook. The true love connection.
God. It's always been you. You've been on my Facebook for like a year. You know, and it was just so peaceful. It was not what I expected at all. Huh? And which is another common trait I find on the twin flame journey. Your twin flame may not always be what you expect. They could be right in front of you and you have like no idea. But this is why we do the inner work, is to heal those blocks so that we can see ourselves.
Or you just become so desperate that you'll take anybody at a certain point because you've spent so much money. You're like, well, might as well.
And love ourselves there. Therefore, see our twin flame and choose and love our twin flame. So I want to move on to kind of, maybe for me, it feels like the final question or issue that was brought up.
Thank God.
In all the docudramas and in a lot of comments from people who were...
I mean, I've got a lot of content still.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, right, it's fine.
Yeah.
But another big upset that came up and concern was about our wealth and how we make money and that we make a lot of money and that we're shoving our luck.
They say that the media is only about money, and if you make money in the media, then you're automatically not to be trusted. So I'm sure they're going to say and acknowledge that is their problem too, and that they also need to work against that for sure. I'm sure that's what's coming.
Luxury goods and our luxurious lifestyle down your throat, which I didn't resonate with that. Scrolling through my Instagram, it's mostly just my family and out in nature, with a couple pictures of like, you know, here's our new car that we got, you know. I had like one picture of like my Chanel purse, which was special because it was the very last design that Karl Lagerfeld did, and that got in there. And I'm like,
isn't he like a Nazi?
Docudrama, and I'm like, okay, that was one post. You know, but whatever. So I want to talk about that because
Jeff does full ass videos showing off you can have this too. If you join our coaching, you can be financially successful. We're multimillionaires. So it's not just about the Instagram, but okay.
That seems like the frame is that we exploit people and we're extracting money from them. What do you think about that?
I think it's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
And it couldn't be further from the truth. I think that it is sensationalism, and it's designed to make you upset at us and make you not listen to us, and it's part of the cover-up.
Yeah.
Is you're so upset at Jeff and Cecilia that you won't listen to a word that they say. And if you don't listen to what they say, we can keep going on about our money-grabbing grift. And it's funny that they project all this onto us while it's what they're doing, first of all.
I know. Where I thought the same thing. Like, yo, you're just grifting off of us.
There's no journalists that are like multimillionaires though. Maybe like 5 at the top who are like Barbara Walters was probably maybe one, maybe Diane Sawyer at this point. But like most journalists that are working for Vanity Fair are not multimillionaires. So yeah, what money grift are they going for? You guys are way more benefiting from the money, but okay.
But let's talk about how our finances are structured. And I'm not holding back here, guys. Like,
can you like move a little closer to me?
Hey.
Move closer to Mama.
I like you.
I like you too. All right, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. So,
what's your bank account number? Tell us that, please. What's your routing number?
Let's first talk about the essence of money. What is money? This is our teaching, right?
God.
Where does it come from? The essence of money is value. As I value this, and I can, money is an exchange medium for value. So like, you know, I have this watch. It's not that expensive. I don't know what not expensive for you is, but it's a $500 watch. And it took all these people, all this effort to make this watch, and materials and marketing and business systems, and they price it. And I was willing to pay $500 for the watch because I valued it at that level.
It's just a placeholder, though, for the $300,000 watch that he one day will have. Just keep that in mind, everybody.
Exchange medium. And that money goes to the watch creator, right? Because I valued it.
Oh, yes.
He or she.
Mr. Paul Rich is getting it directly, the watchmaker.
Created this watch.
This little old man in
and
his
therefore
tool shed.
Created value.
Time.
Which I paid money for, and that becomes wealth, right? So they created value, and I paid money for it. And I
never knew what money was before. Thank God for this well-viewed video.
That money by doing the same thing, by creating value for others. Right? If you look at a bank, something called fractional reserve banking, they're not actually like handing you money from someone else's savings account that they loan out. What they're doing is they'll loan you money, they create it out of thin air, and they just put a number on their balance sheet that says, I gave you $100,000 for a house, and I put a $100,000 promise to pay on my books, right? They didn't actually lend out.
What the hell are you talking about? Explain cryptocurrency next, please.
Money, they just...
I'm so enthralled.
Wrote it on their books because of...
Their books.
They created value in the loan. I don't really want to go into the teaching of that if you don't understand it.
Yeah. He does not understand it. Come on. Fractional investments, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about, but he definitely doesn't know. They don't have books, I don't think, at the mall, I was going to say. At the bank. The bank books.
Wealth is creating value. And our wealth comes from creating value in the lives of our students.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of this.
We get it.
If you don't get value from what I'm offering, the simple point of it is you won't pay me.
Agreed.
And by the
more people need to learn that lesson. I agree.
way, our money doesn't primarily come through the very expensive courses that they like to say.
They don't?
Our money comes from coaching.
Well, yeah, and okay, we did know that. That's obvious.
I just want to also say that especially in the 21st century, so many products and services are based off of apps where you have to subscribe to an ongoing membership, like monthly or annually. Very few options to just outright buy, the app for a lifetime or the service for a lifetime. And actually, we don't operate that way. Like TFAS, you can either buy outright or you can get on like the monthly plan, and I think you pay it off within a year.
So we offer, we'll finance it for you and give you a payment plan.
Sure. You can.
That's a long time. That's a year loan. Oh my God.
Do it in installments, but it comes to an end.
You keep it for life.
You're not, and you keep it for life. You're not constantly paying us for subscription to watch classes.
And you don't even need to buy that stuff to get the teaching. There's free stuff that gives you the whole teaching. There's really inexpensive stuff that gives you the teaching.
Okay, good to know.
So it's not even from our products that our real wealth comes from. Most of the wealth comes from coaching.
From the cult.
And that's an ongoing relationship that you can stop at any time. If you aren't getting ongoing value from the coaching, you will stop. And there are other twin flame talkers that will talk to you about twin flames that you can go to that are outside of Twin Flames universe that will gladly take your money and talk about twin flames with you.
Sure.
True.
So the only way
I will pay me $1,000 and I'll talk about twin flames with you for 10 minutes. That's my offer. Take it or leave it.
That we have a sustainable, growing fortune is because we create real value in the lives of our clients, our students.
Yeah.
And that is an ongoing relationship. We don't actually have a huge following. It's a few hundred active people at most.
So how do you have millions of dollars? How?
And these people get tremendous value in their lives from this teaching because value, remember, is created. And we created the systems that support the teaching. And our community is, it's an economy that many people are enjoying financial prosperity from.
Right.
And many people are enjoying benefit
So we're
from.
not an MLM.
It's not an MLM.
We're not an MLM. That's not how our structure and our business works at all. People made that up. They made a little crappy diagram about it, but it's
not.
It doesn't work. It's not how we work.
If we're an MLM, then the American Association of Dentistry, American Dental Association is set up the same way as us, essentially, right? Like,
because they have to be a coach, a twin flame coach, you have to go through their coaching, I believe. So the coaches are paying to be coached to be able to coach. That's why they were saying it's like MLM style, I believe. So it's like the coaches are the customers and also the providers of the services to others. It's very MLM-esque, I agree.
we certify coaches and they go out and start their own practice.
Right.
Their own practice.
I want to talk about one of the aspects of our business that people had a big issue with. And it's about, like how we were structured between like volunteers and also our coaches. Now, I want to bring you back about 5 to 7 years ago from today. So about 2019, 2020, something like that. When we first started what we call the AAC, the
Association of Ascension Coaches.
Yeah. So back in the early days, for quite some time actually, anyone could, we would certify you as a coach, and that was it. You never had to pay us again. You could just...
But then we learned that was stupid, and we should charge them constantly.
Have clients, go out, get clients, teach based off of our teachings. And we found eventually that that was not a sustainable business model for us. That actually all the work and the sweat off of our backs was going to benefit other people and their business more than it would.
I thought they were servant leaders and they just wanted to help people. Wouldn't that be helpful to other people?
Benefit us in our business. And that doesn't create a happy and healthy and harmonious relationship because we were the ones to break ground here. Like the teaching came through us and we shared it. And so it was not a good or sustainable business model.
Or relationship.
Which is one of the clips that they used in the docudrama of Jeff yelling at the students. It was actually, it wasn't even him yelling. You were just disciplining and sharing your feelings because...
Disciplining? Were they 5?
Like these people were, they could make pretty good money off of our backs, off of the work that we were doing, and not...
You got it from your teacher. The work off your backs. You made it a multi-million-dollar business off of your spiritual teacher's ideas. Give me a break. Cry me a river.
Have to, I don't know.
Well, their business...
I cried an ocean.
Businesses depended on us just the same.
Just the same. It was an ecosystem.
If you want to if we wanted to serve these people, our coaches, and we needed to have a healthy relationship to be able to continue the direction we were going.
Exactly.
And so the media clipped some, intense part of a passionate, intimate financial relationship that we're having together. It's like a family inside Twin Flames universe. Mm-hmm. It's real. It's honest. It's passionate. There are real feelings, and you're allowed to express your feelings and have dialogue and work through them. And the point isn't that we do or do not have intense feelings. The point is that we work through them together. We heal. We come out on the other side, and we feel better. And we just got, our dream car, a Ferrari, 458 Spider. It's the last naturally aspirated V8 Ferrari they ever made. Super sweet. You can see it on our gram right now. And
I thought they never showed off their wealth, and that was a misinterpretation by the media. You can see our spider Ferrari right now on Instagram.
It's an indicator of the ongoing success of our community and a testament to the power of our teachings and a reminder to our students and our coaches that this isn't going anywhere and that there is
yes, Ferraris are forever.
Success for everyone here, and we're not the only ones making money. We're making money not like the media does by exploiting other people.
We're
Now that's where I find you to be wrong.
helping people, and we're loving people.
And if you look at our testimonials, that is the vast majority of our students' experiences. And I want to get back to this relationship between our students and the disagreement, with the former students. And
Not
they
disagreement.
just had an upset they didn't want to work through. And if you think, well, what did all this hold on now. It's a simple statement.
Yeah.
But remember, this work is hard. And so, like, you can't... The appropriate response is not to be upset at hurt people. And these people might want to say that we're the cause of their hurt because it probably really feels that way.
I understand, yeah.
Because the nature of this teaching, thanks for listening. We're finally getting to the core of it.
We're getting to the core of it.
The nature of this
It
teaching
only took an hour.
is very simple. Your mind works like an onion.
Oh, God. Okay, Shrek. Let's go.
Layers, right? Like an ogre. Thanks, Shrek. Onions have layers. Your mind has layers. And you can really only easily access the topmost layer in the healing process. And you peel that layer off through self-awareness and self-love. And we'll teach that. We teach that in our
bullshit
community. When you pull up that layer, there's a new layer beneath it. And what you see there, you really might not like. Oftentimes you don't. And there are some things
Stinky
that
onion.
you're really gonna like as you're uncovering your divine
Yummy
self.
onion.
Beautiful light shines through you. And this really uncomfortable darkness comes up.
Stinky onion.
This is metaphorical in terms of dialogue. This is visceral in real lived experience.
Stinky.
There is nothing like spiritual work. There is nothing more intense, more powerful, more difficult, or more rewarding than inner work.
I think building a house brick by brick is probably more effort and work and harder and more rewarding, personally.
Not for the faint of heart.
No.
The spiritual path.
I have enormous respect
I
for
agree.
anyone who endeavors to do even a little spiritual work. And this is why we didn't go out and say nasty things about the former students. We didn't go out and throw receipts or try to make them wrong. Because
I thought they did. I thought they did show the receipts.
at the end of the
Allegedly.
day, we still have respect for those people because of what they chose to endeavor into. And we know how hard it was and how hard it is. And it's totally okay that they didn't want to continue. And we
Is it?
also have enormous respect for individual sovereignty and freedom of choice, which hilariously media tried to say the opposite. Most of what they said about us was literally the opposite of reality. We have enormous respect for autonomy and sovereignty and freedom of choice.
For us, for our followers, we tell them what to do. But that's what they're paying us for, which is true, which is the problem. Moment with Mandy. Thank you so much, Moment with Mandy. Moment with Mandy says, I value, oh no, don't value me. I value you, Kia. Grab a candy bar. Oh, thank you so much. At Walgreens, I don't know if they exist anywhere else outside of the Walgreens universe. They have these new Whitman's brand s'mores clusters. Holy smokes. Those are some good candies, okay? Dems be some good candies. And maybe with this Moment with Mandy contribution, I will go back to Walgreens and get myself another pack.
I love myself so much.
Thank you.
They are the victims of cancel culture.
I feel more at home in suffering and pain.
Thank you. We're almost done.
As you go through this work and you uncover these uncomfortable parts of your consciousness, of your psyche, of your
Don't
emotional
know
body,
why Jeff won't
it
shut
comes
up.
up to the surface to be healed and released. And as Twin Flame spiritual guru, we were helping students do that on an individual basis at the pace they were asking. And guess what?
What?
This was new, not just to us, but to literally planet Earth. No one else was doing what we were doing ever. This was experimental and exploratory, and it wasn't a Jeff and Cecilia do as we say, as the media likes to portray it.
Yeah, I know.
This was a collaborative endeavor that we as a community endeavored to together. Always was, still is, always will be.
Damn.
Collaboration.
Mic drop.
Hey, this is what I feel. This is what you feel. This is what we agreed to. This is the relationship that's working. Let's keep going. And we check in all the way along. Hey, is this still working for you? There's a wide open door that says, if this isn't working, if there's a real problem or grievance here, let's discuss it. And some of the former students who left did bring their grievances forth.
Come away with Jeff in the night.
It was never the community is doing something wrong thing.
Come
or Jeff
away
and
with
Cecilia does
Jeff.
something wrong here.
He will
The conclusion we
ride
repeatedly came to was,
in
hey,
his
this is just your inner work.
Ferrari.
Why not try doing that instead? And very often the response was, okay, but the reality was, I don't really want to do my inner work.
Come
I don't
away
really
with
want to do this
Cecilia
anymore.
on
I
the
don't like
bus.
going in my own consciousness. I really, really like the community and the love and the attention and the prosperity, the wealth that I get, the respect, the authority, everything that comes part of being intimately involved with Twin Flames universe feels good. But often they didn't want to do the thing that produced the result. And so naturally they would leave.
Naturally.
But another thing is that can be really hard to leave behind.
Yeah.
Papa Bear.
Leaving family behind, which is another thing we'll quickly get into later.
We will, because it's really sweet.
It's really
inside the walls of Twin Flames universe. And I say walls because there is a boundary, and you have to earn trust to get closer, just
Through
like you
a
would in
PayPal
any community.
account.
That's a normal, healthy relationship,
Uh-huh.
and that's ingrained into the culture of our community, the teaching itself that gets you into harmonious union. Totally get it. New cutting edge spirituality, new cutting edge
Twin
consciousness around
Twin Flames has been around forever. It's cutting edge. They do contradict themselves. You're right.
community, new cutting edge consciousness around culture. Everything we're doing is super cutting edge. Even the way that we structure financially is really unusual and cutting edge and pushing the envelope. And
it's gonna make
honestly,
me cut my
that's
edge.
where we like to be, is on the cutting edge. That's where we feel most comfortable,
We
most
like
happy.
to be in the future, you know.
That's where we live.
I don't really feel like we're from these times. I feel like we're from the future, but you know, and
Shut the fuck up.
We're here and we're bringing the future.
The distant
with
future,
us,
the
you know?
year 2000. The distant future. You hear that song from?
well, yeah, because like most people,
She's like, shut up.
most people in the world,
No.
they aren't living in the same way that we are.
No.
They're not they're not with their twin flame, or they're not they're not doing this as a spiritual ascension path. Like they're on a soulmate journey. or a
Losers.
different, path. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's just different.
Not ready for their ascension
Not
journey.
ready, and like that's okay. But like I'm here for the people that do want it, and I'm here for the people for like, you know, the 25th century.
So to kind
that will
of
get this.
lay this final piece to rest here,
I ascended, everybody.
Ultimately, like, we want for you to do what you want. That's it.
Thank you.
We want for us to do what we want, so long as there's no harm going on. And there's never been any harm proven by anyone. Just stories taken out of context, manipulated for profit, and fed to you as a sensational lie to get your attention.
Right.
I'm sure that wasn't your love story exactly. They know the formula because they're doing it themselves, so they recognize it. Bullshitter can recognize a bullshitter very well.
At the expense of the truth.
Yeah.
And for those of you who want drama, I promised you, you weren't going to get any
You're
here.
not gonna get
If you were looking for drama, you might as well walk away.
She said they were going to get right to the T. I've been lied to multiple times in this video.
Sorry it's not here.
I'm sure they would have walked away like an hour ago.
I think that
No, we're committed.
the most sensational and compelling story
This
here is
channel's
the truth. I
committed
think the truth is always
to
the most
sitting
compelling
through
story,
juicy
by far.
crap.
I know.
And that's what we pitched to the media in totality with our whole hearts twice with Vanity Fair and CTV, and that they threw away completely. So here we are telling our own story in our own way. Hope you're enjoying it.
So much.
You can leave if you want to.
Show me your watch.
So I feel pretty good about addressing the former student thing.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about addressing our finances. Like, we create value for people, they will like it, and so they pay us for it. And they don't have to if they don't want to.
It's basic economics.
And there's free stuff, there's cheap stuff, and there's premium stuff that's super valuable. That, you know, I actually got a statistic from Twin Flame Ascension School is, you know, people who are watching TFAS actively last week watched on average 4.5 hours per person per week.
It's neurotic behavior. Red flag. Red flag.
Cool.
Right? And this is something you get for life once it's paid for. Not even Netflix do you do that. So, and people tell me, my students who have Harmonious Union years, 5-6 years later after they bought TFAS, got everything, still watch it. Still super valuable.
Weird.
It's mind-blowing how valuable this stuff is.
Yeah.
And we charge
It really, truly is mind-blowing. I agree. It is mind-blowing. I don't understand it.
very low for what the reality
Their production value is 0.
of what you get is, and everyone says that who gets it.
Yeah.
So finance is good. Former students
especially like when you know, you meet your twin flame and shit starts getting real, then you're like really grateful that you have TFAS
Sounds like a disorder. Like you need a CPAP machine to take care of your TFAS issue.
Ascension coach as well.
And a relationship with the community.
And a relationship with
which
the
is free, by the
community.
way. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
you feel good.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like mentally cataloging here. Like, why us? Good. What is our position
Why
on
us?
the media, having been dragged through it for 5 years? I think you're pretty clear on that.
Yeah,
I
we
wanted
are.
to address the former family member thing.
Yeah. Let's
So
do
we
that
kind of
briefly.
touched on it.
you.
Did you want to lead here, or did you want me to?
What are you going to say?
Well, you know,
Are you
I
ascended?
just feel like
You want to ascend?
for one, I just want to say
You ascend?
I have compassion for these you know, family members, and I'm not just saying it. It's not a cop out. It's how I genuinely feel.
I love you.
I understand.
You're my twin
I'm estranged
flame.
from my family,
Yeah, me too.
and so is Jeff. And
Okay, I can't even lie. I'm estranged from my family as well, for the most part. I talk to my parents a little bit, but basically estranged. So I can't fault him for that.
it's
Super
It
difficult.
was an extremely painful experience. It was not one I ever thought I'd go through or ever wanted to go through. But it did happen mostly because we had a clear clash in our value system. And I no longer fit within my former family's system. And it was no longer compassionate for me to be in that family and for my family members to be around me. And they will agree with that, actually. They are glad that I'm not in the family anymore.
Damn.
I caused them a lot of pain and suffering because I was awakening into my spiritual journey, and they didn't understand it. They didn't agree with it. They didn't like who I was changing and who I was becoming into. And my values started to change.
They didn't want any of this for themselves.
They didn't want it for themselves. And it's,
it's okay.
It's not to say, oh, I'm not telling you what you want and what you don't want. I just want to address what I see as the elephant in the room. And so, yeah, first off, I understand your pain. I'm sorry for it. But secondly, we have never, ever in our life told someone in our community that they need to leave their family. That is a very personal and that's a very private decision. That is not something that we ever take lightly when a community member writes a post about it and says...
Super rare, by the way.
Super rare, by the way. It almost never happens. And so when someone does decide to leave...
Usually, the story is we feel so much closer to our family.
And not only that, we've saved families, by the way. There were some members that were like, I'm so mad at my mom. I'm never going to talk to her again. Or my dad, like, I'm leaving my family. And we're like, whoa.
Don't want to do that.
Let's just think about it. Is there love there?
So you're saying that you tell people not to leave their families? So you are telling people what to do. Cell phone.
Or is this just an upset? Can you work through this with your family? Or is this really completely, like, is this a reconcilable relationship? And is there abuse?
Furthermore, we're just two people on the internet. So.
Yeah, agreed, Jeff. Thank you. I was just about to say that. Like, this is not their forte. They're acting as if they have any advisory information at all to be giving out, mental health, family counseling advice. This is why I hate this stuff, because they go, oh, it's just life coaching. It's like, yeah, but they're just giving mental health therapy unregulated. That's what it becomes. All these things become that, It's like, oh, yes, it's a holistic treatment. It's like, okay, all they're doing is doing therapy with no training and no license to lose. And I hate that it's not regulated at all. Because it's like, they should not be allowed, I don't think. You couldn't go into an office and say, I'm going to, like he said, the dentist example. You can't just open up shop and go, I'm not trained as a dentist, but, I can go in and do whatever I want. There's no rules. But apparently for therapy and mental health conditions, like, there's no rules at all, according to the government. And it bothers me a lot. I've talked about this quite a bit.
So, like, you're not going to leave your family over us.
Right.
And even if you do, you can always just go back to them. Like,
I know.
Sorry, I was mean. Let's repair it.
Sorry.
Okay, you're my son. I'm happy to repair it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how it works, idiot. As someone going through, and they just said they're both, like, separated from their families. That is not how it works, okay? For most, well, I shouldn't say most people. In my situation, I can't just be like, oh, never mind. Yeah, it's broken.
This has nothing... These grievances, so first of all, the grievances that you have with your family members have nothing to do with us. And I'm talking to literally everyone.
Then why are you giving advice about don't leave them, do leave them? Why are you responding to comments about that then? You just said that.
Yep.
Your grievances and your relationships in your life have everything to do with you in your relationships. You are in complete control over your choices. No one else is. And it's insane to think otherwise. So while we have enormous compassion for the situation,
yeah, sounds like
we're
it, for sure.
not your problem. You're your own problem. And if you prefer to blame it on someone, I'm sure the Netflix, character they created using me and my community is a really good scapegoat to place your feelings upon. Go do so at your content. Has nothing.
I heard that cultures used to take a goat and scape it. That's what Aubrey Marcus taught me last week.
To do with me.
Right. Also,
or 2 weeks ago.
I don't know, like, there's a lot of support groups out there for parents who have children that are transgender or LGBTQ. You're not alone in feeling upset about a child, or really it's an adult child.
They're complaining about 30, 40 or plus year old
like, these
children.
Are literal adults, this isn't a minor we're talking about, which would be a totally different story. But yeah, we have nothing to do with that. But there are support groups out there for parents that have transgender, LGBTQ children, adult children, or children, and there's a lot of resources out there for you. Definitely encourage looking into them. That might be something you could be interested in.
Moms
If not, hey, that's
Against
cool, but I have
LGBT.
nothing to do with your family member.
It's between you and your previous family member,
And I think
that's it.
the only real conclusion you came to is we had a relationship before, and then they come and enter into Jeff and Cecilia's world, and now they no longer have a relationship with me.
Sure. Logical conclusion to draw.
Sure, that's the thinking, right? But
You have to erase a whole piece of what, as far as I understood, they communicated to you repeatedly.
Well, I think...
Who are they talking to? They're so cryptic, and it's like they're like this. I guess there's only like 7,000 views on this video, so they figure only a few people are going to actually watch. But who are they? They're talking to someone specifically.
I think you're not listening to your adult child, and I think you would need to start there. Of like, what are they actually saying? If you really want to repair the relationship.
I don't think that they really want to repair the
But
relationship.
I don't think so.
That's not my sense that I got from the situation,
but like
from my limited
they just want to
perspective.
blame us. Fine, whatever. But hey, to
Easy
each
to do.
their own. Yeah.
I feel pretty complete on that. Is there anything else you want to say on that subject?
Oh no, we're good. Yeah.
So I don't want to dwell on this.
No.
And
But the
that's another
media
reason we didn't
is
like
horrible.
speak up. This has nothing to do with us. This has everything to do with the media and culture. Not our turn to talk. But it is becoming our turn to talk again. And we're not
But yet we didn't take our opportunity once again.
here to talk about cults and a drama and nonsense. What we are here to talk about is twin flames and spiritual ascension, God and unionism, and personal development, self-development. And that includes growing your wealth, which is the reason we share our wealth on the internet. Hey, I got this awesome Chanel bag. It represents me serving people with my spirituality and getting results for them with it. It's me living my purpose that God placed into my heart, and when I followed it, I became prosperous doing it, rather
God put this Chanel purse on my heart.
than
Same.
me being afraid, following some formula of the system, doing everything right, and bleeding for a chance at it.
Huh?
It's not the way, folks. We're teaching you how to create real spiritual wealth that also attracts material wealth too. We're teaching you how to do...
It always ends up like that. It always ends up with have sex with the leader, the top dog, and they need to have a Rolls Royce. How is that always the conclusion? I don't remember reading that in the Bible.
real spiritual work. We offer real relationship, real spiritual community. You don't have to do this work alone. We're all collaborating on it together, Cecilia and I included. We just talked about, Cecilia and I discovered that we're both neurodivergent in our own way. Like, that's what I want to talk about.
That's what I want to talk about too.
I want to talk about
twin flames.
the cutting edge.
Convenient. Oh, cutting edge neurodiversity discovery at a convenient time. Diagnosis. Okay.
Of our spiritual development with you, like we used to before all this drama.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep doing that. We haven't stopped all the way along. If you check our Instagram, we keep growing.
I'd love to talk about family too, because we're, we got a 2-year-old, and we're enmeshed in family life, and we have a lot of insights and thoughts on that. There's so much we want to share about our life, and that's what we're going to do with our podcast. Yes, this is an official podcast. We had an unofficial one in our Facebook group. That was cool. But yeah, like, this is kind of the direction that we're going in. We're going to be doing podcasts.
Get a better mic.
And we are going to be going back to our roots, going back to what we love to do, going back to what we're really good at.
Spiritual work.
And we're here to serve you and to serve your twin flame ascension journey and your healing journey. And that is what brings us so much joy.
And income.
This is the direction that we're now headed in, and we're so grateful for you for coming along with us.
We're not going to stop. That superstorm did not stop us.
No.
We only grew
Maybe the raid will stop them.
stronger as individuals. our character developed,
Yeah.
our community,
It was
culture developed.
It was an interesting arc in our story.
Yeah. It's continuing. And I think that the next podcast we do is going to be about our origin stories. You know, why is it that we call ourselves twin flame spiritual gurus?
Yeah.
Guru,
How did
not
that
spiritual
happen?
teacher. That was a thing. Our Indian student
Because we're narcissistic.
brought us that title.
Well,
we didn't bestow it upon
we don't want to
ourselves.
spoil the story. Some people already know, but we'll get into
We'll get
it.
into the next podcast.
Yeah, in the
but
next one, yeah.
I just want to say, like, also, like, we're going to talk about MAP, the mind alignment process, the actual
Their unregulated PTSD treatment that they've come up with.
healing that we do,
Which is worse.
that we developed, pulled out of Twin Flame Ascension School, and turned into a specific process that can be applied to deep trauma healing. And we've been doing this for years, and the results are astounding.
Oh, God.
And this is part of the reason why this drama.
This is the worst part because this is really, they're advertising it to veterans. Like, come and heal your PTSD with our hokey bullshit. And that's what I do not like the most. That's unfair.
From the media, this exploitation has been so heartbreaking because people are literally dying from trauma every day. Families are ripped apart, and it's resolvable like relatively easily at scale.
Shut up, you fucking idiot.
And we have the scientific data to prove it. And if you call us a cult and psycho cult leaders, you're going to write off any of the results we get as quackery.
It is quackery.
But
100%.
Mind Alignment Process, mindalignmentprocess.org, go to if you can check it out,
No.
is the most
go to it.
effective trauma healing modality on the planet today. People are healing of complex PTSD and PTSD, and these are medical professionals who are. Why'd you poke me?
Oh, nothing.
What were you trying to communicate?
No.
Okay.
Nothing, yeah. I mean.
Hold on, I missed that because I was pulling up the map.
Who are. Why'd you poke me?
Oh, nothing.
What were you trying to communicate?
No.
Okay.
Nothing, yeah. I mean. Yeah.
Sorry, just
I am
sensitive.
getting tired though. So
Okay,
like
well-
we gotta start wrapping it up, but I don't want
Let me finish what I'm saying and we'll
Okay.
wrap it up.
They hate each other. Twin flames, more like twin shames, more like that's their games they play. Okay, I don't know. I'm tired
who
too.
healed their PTSD and their trauma.
Okay, you can't just make those claims also, for the record.
Huge success.
False medical
90+% of people completely heal their trauma through the mind alignment process.
This is bad. This is the worst part of this entire messaging right here. This is why they're delusional and bad.
And this is just one of the things that have been suppressed by this media sickening junk. So the wife says it's time to wrap up.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to wrap up. Thank you so
guys.
much for joining us. The comment section is open.
I am shocked about that. Kudos to them because there's many a group that don't have the comments on. Okay, here is this. Heal your trauma map, mind alignment process. Transform your life in just 12 weeks. Oh, it's not even 90%. It's 99% effective. Wow. Wow, you don't need to spend years trying to cope with traumatic experiences that are ruining your life. MAP can safely transform your life in just 12 weeks. 99% of MAP recipients experience a significant decrease in flashbacks after 12 weeks. After 1 year, MAP completely resolved trauma symptoms in 91% of cases. MAP recipients are immediately empowered to take back control of their life and make new and healthy choices for themselves. You just have to cover your eye and high five yourself in the jaw, and that you do that for 12 weeks. That's what I think. Free consultation, start healing session, join the after MAP care. Oh, she's an ascension coach and she's also doing this. This is bad. How can this be legal? How is this legal? There is no psychologist that I'm aware of that's involved in this. But okay. And this is a person who is featured in the cult documentary. I'm going to subscribe. I'm the number 54 subscriber. Yay! I don't like that. That's really targeting people who are vulnerable for real, and it's taking their money and promising them false hope and probably causing way more harm to them. And that should be illegal. Maybe that's what they're looking into, because how can you just, you can't just, I have a trauma healing. I mean, I guess people do it all the time, but you shouldn't be able to do that and say 99% of people healed their PTSD from watching my videos on YouTube. But that's the world we live in, baby. That's Nora Jones' world. We're just living in it. Okay. Well, like I said, this week has been a lot of other people in the world have had a worse week than me, but I still, on the grand scheme, had a very slightly bad week, but it will get better, I hope. And then I'll be back next week. And then I'm also working on some edited videos, as per always, that take forever to produce, but I'm working on it. And also then I'm thinking about trying to stream more than once a week, because I love it and I miss it so much. So maybe, you know, I'll add another day. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Time to sing my song to my followers of my cult. I'm gonna put the names on the screen right now. Nora Jones. If you're listening, Nora Jones, you are the girl that I wanna phone in the middle of the night to ascend to new heights, twin flames all night. Yeah. Nora Jones. That's me. Hawkbit37. Thank you so much. Hawkbit37 chose a pear character flying through the air like a superhero. Wow, that makes me feel like this. Because the wind is so windy. And Taro just wants to say meow, 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 meow. Okay.
You're not freaking fine.
And finally,
you believed you were the Virgin Mary reincarnated.
That's what Taro believes she is. Yes, you do. You told me that yesterday. She's like, fine.
What is a cult?
We never will know. All right, time to sing my song, and it's going to be sad. See you next week. Bye. Where is that? Oh my gosh, here it is. Because I was in a bad mood. That's why I picked this song. Starry nights. Hope you are crying alone in the dark. Not really, but that's what my song will say. Nicole Campbell. I don't know if you will touch the pot handle when making your soup tonight. A console. How many tears did you cry? Did it make a notion in your eyes? Lillian Massey, did you have some saltwater taffy that brought you back to your childhood? Lemonade in the shade, Alaska blood tundra. Do you have no shame? I'm not the one to blame, Jeff. That's what he says. Kara Soto, I don't know what more to say. I am so sad today. Lisa B, what about me makes you weak in the knees? my favorite person to reminisce with about the past. Oh, I hope the memories will last. Rob Sheehan, are you my twin flame? Are you feminine or masculine? Mary, are you in the cult with me? I hope so, so we can wear cool gowns and walk around with frowns. Mr. Info, you make me grin so much, even though I'm crying. I'm crying, but also I'm lying. There's no tears in my eyes, like all these guys that have podcasts and say they're sad. What's up with that? Elif Madison, I hope you take your medicine every day, like the doctor says. And if you don't, I hope you build a moat and put a gator in it. Wow. Vibes. Okay. Good night, everyone. Have a sad night. Choose sadness. Bye.